is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Today, Memphis hosts Ottawa in a nothing game you say au contraire. The Dogs are in a nasty fight for the final playoff spot in the South. The defense is tenacious. Once Cofield gets hold of you, he won't let go. And Harding never gets mad. He just gets even and then some. Damon is a ferocious competitor, but the offense has often been left with its tail between its legs this year. The Riders will take their shots and come out fighting today. Ware knows how and when to strike. Odessa can catch, and he doesn't care if the Dogs get mad. Richardson still has the speed to break away, but he'd better watch where he steps. Hey, that's a civic violation. Someone get that dog on a leash. All the way to Memphis, home of the King, and we couldn't even find a cheap Elvis imitator to appear in our production opening. For that, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize from the outset. It's the Mad Dogs versus Ottawa in a hugely important game for Memphis. Welcome to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Scott Oak. How to get your team into the playoffs in its first year of existence? Well, you can always try loading up your defense with veteran players like the Mad Dogs have done. They've got 10 experienced CFL defenders, and as a result, with 4 weeks to go, they've got a shot at the postseason. 3 of the teams in the South Division will advance, and later today, Birmingham and San Antonio kick off. But by then, the Mad Dogs hope to have this game under control, although we acknowledge that Ottawa has its share of talent, and sooner or later, the Rough Riders have to win a game outside the province of Ontario, which they've not done for 5 years now. Standing by to describe the proceedings in Memphis, here's the most handsome couple in television, Mark Lee and Dan Kepley. Kep played the game like a Mad Dog himself. I suspect that Kep has to admire this Memphis defense.
Hey, guys like this, Scott, they usually keep down in what they call the rabbit pit here, the Liberty Bowl. Hey, you never miss a chance to get your teeth into a football game, and I know you really like that D.
Well, they really do. This is the remnants of the last quarterback that these guys were chasing around. And when the Memphis Mad Dogs wanted to establish credibility and to become respectable, they went to the trenches, the D-line. Tim Cofield and Rodney Harding. This is a team right now that is third in the CFL in sacks, and when it gets hot, these are the guys that turn the heat up in the kitchen.
And this man, Kep, will meet a lot of resistance from that defensive line. Michael Richardson, the running back for the Riders, back for his second game after missing 8 games with a torn hamstring injury. He is still the leading rusher for the Rough Riders, so you know today he'll be carrying the mail for the Riders, especially, Scott, with this short end zone inside the 10. The Riders spent a lot of time working with Richardson and the ground game.
Okay, Mark, and it would seem that Richardson will have to penetrate the Memphis defense today if Ottawa is to have any chance. 3.5 hours south of here in Birmingham, Matt Dunnigan and the Barracudas will be out to stay ahead of Memphis when they face San Antonio later. Coming up on the BF Goodrich TA halftime report today, the quota. You need only say those 2 words, and followers of the CFL know what you're talking about. Can the CFL afford to continue protecting Canadian players? A spirited discussion between Stephen Brunt and Dan Ferroni at halftime. It's a glorious day in Memphis, but a somber one for the Mad Dogs as they begin the game. They're remembering a teammate who died tragically a week ago yesterday. Junior Robinson was a key member of the Memphis defense. He was killed in a car accident near his home in Winston-Salem, and needless to say, Mark, his teammates and his head coach, Pepper Rogers, were shaken.
Well, that's right, Scott. The Mad Dogs, about 14 of the players went to the funeral for Junior Robinson last weekend, and this man, Pepper Rogers, the head coach, has put together a rather interesting tribute, which will take place when the Memphis defense is on the field for the first time. A former Air Force man himself, Pepper will have the equivalent of the missing man formation you often see at Air Force funerals. The Mad Dogs will play with 11 men, Kep, and they will not fill the spot of Junior Robinson for the first play. This is not a ceremony. This will actually be in-game action, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Ottawa's team reacts to that, and Coach Gilchrist.
This is Lamley with the opening kickoff of this football game. And it's Lucius Floyd at his own 20, cuts across the 35 and meets heavy resistance. Chris Sangaris is the first man in on the tackle for the Rough Riders. And so the Mad Dogs, led by Damon Allen, will start their first possession of this game at their own 37-yard line. Damon Allen in only his 3rd game after missing 4 with an injury himself. You see his numbers here, 2,239. Only 8 touchdowns this year, Kep. That's far below what we're used to seeing from him.
It really is. It surprises me that he hasn't had better success in throwing the ball into the end zone.
Allen straight back to pass, goes deep down the right sideline. And Anthony Jordan is well overthrown there. Anthony Jordan is taking the spot of Joe Horn, the outstanding rookie receiver for the Mad Dogs this season. Over 1,200 yards receiving. He has been on pace to break the rookie record set by Matt Clark, but with the injury, he may not get it this time around. We set the Mad Dogs offense for you. Anthony Jordan, as we told you, filling the big shoes at wideout for Joe Horn.
Tremendous amount of speed in that receiving core and running backs and depth for the Memphis Mad Dogs.
Damon Allen with lots of time over the middle, looking for Gary Morris. Morris lost his footing on this natural grass field, and it'll be incomplete. The Mad Dogs will be punting on their first possession.
Damon Allen with a little bit of heat from John Kropke up front. Just did not look very comfortable. This is an offensive line that stayed together for about 9 games at the beginning of the season. A couple of changes took place, but this tandem, as far as the 5 guys up front, have been together for the last 8 games, and they're starting to find some continuity and some togetherness.
Pete Gardere standing back at his own 22 for this punt. Low snap, but gets it away. It's a wobbly punt. And Ken Avrere is chasing it, but it goes out of bounds at about the Ottawa 42-yard line. So good field position kept for the Rough Riders when they start their first series of this ball game. A 33-yard punt, well below the average of 40 yards for Pete Gardere of the Mad Dogs.
Well, Mark, you know, yesterday when we talked with Jim Gilstrap about his offensive and what was happening, we're going to take a good look right now. Picture of Junior Robinson.
Junior Robinson killed last weekend in a car accident, and the Mad Dogs with only 11 players on the field. What will Ottawa do here? Will they take advantage of it, or will they simply run a nullified play? It's Andre Ware rolling back and looking deep down the field. Wide open at the 55 is Odessa Turner, so the Rough Riders take advantage of the 11-man defense for a first down gain to Odessa Turner. Now we're going to stop this football game as Pepper Rogers will continue this tribute. Pepper Rogers calling for a timeout. There appears to be some confusion on the sidelines. You see he's awfully upset there. The situation here, as it was planned, Kep, was for the game to be stopped.
And I think he has convinced one of the officials on the sideline to do exactly that. I mean, this is a premeditated thing that they were going to do this ceremony right after the opening play.
Let's listen in now to the PA announcer at Liberty
At this time, we ask you to rise and to join the Mad Dogs in a moment of silence to honor the memory of our fallen teammate.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Robinson and to his mother, Robinson.
Now, Ed Berry, injured and not playing in this game, brings out Junior Robinson's away jersey number 2 for the presentation to his widow, Sandra, at center field. Junior Robinson leaves behind his wife, Sandra, his mother, and a newborn boy, David Robinson III. You see Don Smith embracing the family. This is a very trying time. The players holding their helmets in the air. They will wear Junior's number 2 on the back of their helmet for the rest of the game. And Kep, I know you've been through this situation yourself with teammate Don Warrington, who was killed in a car crash. What does it do to a football team to react and to recover from something like this?
Donnie Warrington was killed in December of 1980, and the next year in 1981, we dedicated our full season to Donnie Warrington. Jeep, we nicknamed him, and it just so happened that year it motivated us enough to win a big Grey Cup against the Ottawa Rough Riders 26-23 in Montreal. So it has that kind of effect when you honor and when you remember a fallen teammate and a friend. to really inspire you.
Number 30, Jamie Redmond, will be taking Junior Robinson's spot at the inside half spot. It's first down as Ware gives to Michael Richardson, and there's all kinds of traffic at the 50-yard line. The gain kept maybe a couple of yards as that big defensive line you talked about off the top of this program saw that coming.
These guys do so much up front. I mean, we're going to take a look. Andre Ware and his numbers as he starts this game. He's a quarterback that just is trying to get his feel and try to get his feet up underneath him. He has done some really, really good things. The big thing is he's turned the ball over a number of times as far as interceptions that he's thrown. But we talked about this defense at Memphis. They crowd you, they pursue you, they make it tough to run the ball.
2nd and 9 Ottawa. The fake to Richardson, the bootleg left. Ware looking deep downfield. And it's complete to Ray Alexander out at the 34-yard line of the Memphis Mad Dogs. Another first down for Ottawa as this offense continues to move. You see the offensive line led by Mike Shadd, 9 years in the National Football League. Ray Alexander making the catch there. He only had one catch last week against San Antonio. The Riders saying they're going to get the ball to him a lot more today, and they start right away on their opening drive of this first quarter.
Good 16-yard reception by Ray Alexander on the last pass.
First down Riders, Andre Ware. Straight back, and he goes right back to Alexander again. He breaks one tackle, but is moved back.
On the pass,
Damon Lyons lassoing Ray Alexander. The gain will be about 6 yards.
Mark, this is a really good thing for a young quarterback when you have a veteran receiver like Ray Alexander. Go to him and go to him often. Take a look at this Memphis defensive lineup.
Greg Battle, number 2 in tackles with 50 for the Mad Dogs. The quiet, silent type. There's Don Smith, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, anchoring a veteran-laden secondary for the Mad Dogs. More than 20 CFL players now on this team. The fake to Richardson. Andre Ware with time rolling right. Looks deep down the right sideline for Nigel Williams, but kept there. You see right away the problem with that end zone. There's only 6 yards to the corner, and Nigel Williams ran out of real estate.
It makes it really tough. Ware is doing some good things early in the game as far as moving the pocket, making this defense have to chase him around and really become disciplined. As far as Cofield and also Alex Gordon are going to have to be able to get up the field, make some containment, and pull this young quarterback up. This guy's a young thoroughbred that can just run all over the field. Great legs, and as you see, has a strong arm.
Lamley will attempt this field goal. The ball pinned at the 40-yard line. Lamley has already beaten the Mad Dogs once as a Toronto Argonaut with that field goal in overtime, a 10-7 win. And it's good from 40 yards out, and so the Riders score on their first series of this opening quarter. It's 3-0 Ottawa. We'll be back to the Liberty Bowl right after this.
Ottawa with the early lead in Memphis, but the Mad Dogs are outraged over 2 things. First, the trouble in getting the clock stopped after the first play so they could honor their fallen teammate, Junior Robinson. And second, that the Rough Riders decided to try and gain significant yardage when they played with only 11 men to honor Junior Robinson. And believe me, Mark, now the Mad Dogs are outraged and threatening, if they get the chance, to run up the score.
Well, I'll tell you, Scott, I wouldn't want to be Andre Ware right now with people like Tim Cofield coming down on him. The kickoff taken by Lucius Floyd at his own 24-yard line. All kinds of room right up the middle through the hash marks. He's across center field or just across the 50. Finally hauled down by a gaggle of Rider tacklers. A 52-yard kickoff, the return by Lucius Floyd, 29 yards.
Take a look. Special teams are such a big part, and this is a big player as far as special teams are concerned. Chris Sangaris, that came over from the Toronto Argonauts in a trade to Ottawa, always around the ball, having his hat on the staff.
1st and 10, Damon Allen turns, gives us a fumble. Horace Morris down at the bottom of that pileup. We'll have to wait for the officials' ruling on this.
And I think Horace Morris does have the ball. Comes away with it. The big guy does. Out of Tennessee, Horace Morris, who was just a great find and having a terrific 95 season for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Cap, it looked like a simple handoff from Allen to Al Shipman, but look at the replay here.
This search series, he gives it to him, he hits Shipman right in the chest, and Shipman just doesn't get the handle on it. But the guy that does is Mr. Morris, number 97.
Let's see how this Mad Dog defense reacts to what they felt was an indignity on that tribute to Junior Robinson. Andre Ware, quarterback for the Riders. Straight back to pass, lots of time, throws to the wide side for Alexander, but it's way over his head. Andre Ware, as you mentioned, kept having trouble with turnovers. 3 fumbles himself in his third start now as a starting quarterback with the Riders. 5 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes. The team says he needs to run more. He's a gifted athlete.
And that's the name of the game up here in the Canadian Football League. Run the ball, scramble out, buy a little extra time, and make yourself so you can see the whole field a little bit better. I think he's having some problems seeing the whole field if he stays in a drop-back position.
Draw to Richardson. He breaks 1 tackle, crosses the 55, over the 40. It's first down territory for Michael Richardson in his second start since missing 8 games with a torn hamstring injury. Gain of 14 yards on the carry for Mike Richardson.
This is a real class act. This is a guy that wanted to get in the lineup so badly, but those hamstring injuries are so tentative, you just don't know. As soon as you try to make an acceleration, as he is right now, sometimes those are the things that give away. But Michael Richardson is gifted with great balance.
First down Ottawa. Odessa Turner with the catch on the hitch pass. He'll have 5 as Donald Smith comes up to put the wrap on him. Odessa Turner, the leading wide receiver, the leading receiver in all for Ottawa this year with 910 yards. The NFL veteran, the bread and butter man for Andre Ware.
Odessa Turner comes out. Now, this guy came into the league to this game, 58 catches, 910 yards, 7 touchdowns. Tell you what, he is another gifted player. Tall, rangy, with great speed. 2nd and 5. Andre Ware pumps. He's going deep down the sideline to Odessa Turner. Gets one hand on it, but can't bring it down with Donald Smith draped all over him. Andre Ware looking to exploit Donald Smith on that play, but the coverage was nearly perfect. He put the 6'3" Turner on the inside. Now look how he's in the inside. The ball had been thrown short and a little bit lower to the inside move. Turner has to make the adjustment and throws the ball to the outside, and Odessa just cannot get his hand on it. And you can see also Andre Ware is under extreme pressure by this Mad Dog defense.
So Lamely will attempt his second field goal of this game from the 40-yard line. Once again, it's blocked. Rodney Harding got his hands up. The balls fall over the place. Looks like a rugby game. The Mad Dogs have it. Donald Smith goes down the sideline over the 15-yard line and is finally pulled down. What a huge turnover for the Mad Dogs. Lamley's field goal attempt is blocked. It's still 3-0 Ottawa, and now the Mad Dogs are on the doorstep. Donald Smith, the man on the spot for Memphis, Kep.
Great play. This is what you have to do defensively, is come up big. Nobody blocks. Rodney Harding, as he comes straight up the middle, gets the hand on the ball. And all of a sudden, that's Greg Battle that gets into the rugby mood. Battles it back. Rodney tries to pick it up and find it. But they're very fortunate right at the end. Number 19, Don Smith, comes up with the possession.
Here come the Mad Dogs at the 14. First down. The give to Gary Anderson, the NFL veteran, and he's stopped in his tracks, maybe even a loss by John Kropke, the 7-year veteran, defensive tackle for the Rough Riders. Turnovers have been a killer for Ottawa. Pepper Rogers has got to take advantage of this. Minus 28, they're worst in the league, Ottawa is. Twice last week against San Antonio, they got to within 8 points, only to turn the ball over and blow it.
You can take a good look at Damon Allen as he's looking to the sideline. His plays are called from the sideline. Takes a little pressure off him. Now he just has to execute.
Allen with all kinds of time now. Bails out of the pocket, rolls to his left. He's got a man open. It's Gary Anderson. Touchdown, Memphis! Number 34, Gary Anderson with a 16-yard touchdown pass from Damon Allen. Kep, you talked about him having his plays called beginning of this season under Adam Rita. Damon Allen was calling his own plays, but now under Buddy Geis is a different situation, and he seems to be more relaxed, less pressure on him.
Well, he looks like that, and the thing that he does so well now and showing some of that maturity, as he breaks out in scramble, rather than scrambling, scared, and running the ball, he's looking down the field, and his receivers are learning to work to an open spot, as Gary Anderson did, and he made a big play.
The point after by Nick Mystrom is good, and the Mad Dogs now take a 4-point lead. It's 7-3 Memphis. We'll be back right after this. The Mad Dogs, the opportunists, taking advantage of another dreadful Ottawa turnover. Kept. Here's the replay.
Damon Allen, his forte has always been his scrambling, but again, he shows some great maturity as in a la Doug Flutie, once he starts to scramble, put some pressure on the defense, and then allows a guy like Gary Anderson to work into the open hole, make the catch, and get the ball in the end zone. Damon Allen had great praises for this guy as far as his work ethics and also his quickness and his foot speed.
Nigel Williams at his own 20 crosses the 30, but doesn't get much further than that as Anthony Jordan, the wide receiver taking the place of Joe Horn, puts the hooks on him. Nigel Williams of the Hamilton Hurricanes, one of the young Canadians in this Ottawa offense. Andre Ware coming back into this football game, the 1989 Heisman Trophy winner at Houston. He set 26 NCAA passing records. Drafted in the first round, 7th overall by the Detroit Lions in 1990. And there's Alien, of course, the 89-pound lab who retrieves the kickoff tee after touchdowns here at the Liberty Bowl.
That may be the only dog on the field who's not mad right now.
1st and 10, Ottawa at their own 28. The give to Michael Richardson. He's got all kinds of real estate on the counter. Close to a first down.
Marcus, some of the theory and the philosophy about when you have a defense that has such foot speed and quickness and pursuit as the Memphis Mad Dogs have, you do that counter stuff, a little shovel pass back inside. You try to get them to reacting to the initial play and then come back across the grain. Michael Richardson has had great success through his career running that exact play.
2nd down and about a yard for Ottawa. Once again, it's Richardson twisting and turning. He's having a heck of a game in this first quarter for another Ottawa first down. Bobby Dawson, the former Tiger Cat, making the tackle.
The Ottawa offensive line has really improved since the addition of Mike Shadd at left guard. Irv Damon, their standard center, has been out for a couple of weeks. James Monroe moves over from left guard to center. He does an excellent job as far as blocking. The only deficit is that you lose a little bit on the experience of the recognition of calling the defensive fronts.
Andre Ware throws the hitch pass to Ray Alexander. And he makes a nifty move, but takes a heck of a pop. Jamie Anderson and Damian Lyons taking him down for a gain of about 8. This Memphis defense kept one of the stingiest in the CFL, leading in all kinds of categories from yards per game allowed to passing touchdowns allowed, only 11. 10 different categories, you see. The Mad Dogs #1 in the CFL. The give again to the yeoman on this offense for Ottawa, Michael Richardson, who cuts left and looks like he might have enough for the first down. Jamie Redmond, the man replacing the late Junior Robinson, making the tackle on Richardson.
But again, talking to Coach Gilstrap yesterday, we talked about how well they looked last week against San Antonio. Some big plays, running the ball extremely well. We're able to throw the ball deep. The big thing that has killed them is turnovers. They seem to be very concentrated today as far as making sure they hold on to the ball. They're taking high percentage passes. They're not throwing it up for grabs. And this is the big thing. It's creating possession drives, making first downs. More importantly, is letting their defense rest, that when the defense comes back on the field, they can fly around a little better.
The Riders, it looks, Kep, will be about 3 or 4 inches short of a first down here. Ball right at the 53-yard line, so center field, and the Riders will go for it. Jim Ward has come into the game on defense for Memphis. He's the strongest man on this team with a bench press, get this, Kep, of 580 pounds. There's the sneak by Ward. He didn't get much of a push, but all he needed was 4 inches.
I don't think my car weighs 580.
I'll tell you, that's like your fridge full of red meat. Lay down on your back on a bench, somebody put it on you and try to bench press it. No longer is Tim Cofield the strong man. Of course, he was NFL strongman back in '91. His bench, 505 pounds.
Of course, we're standing up here about 13 stories up. I think we can say that to Mr. Cofield. Right. He's not going to hear us. We'll be on a plane before he can catch us now.
Andre Ware. His Riders cooking here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at his own 54. The pitch, or rather the fake. He's got some trouble, but there we see some of Andre Ware's scrambling abilities. He gets over the line of scrimmage for a game of maybe 3. Once again, Bobby Dawson in on the tackle.
This is the great asset that this young fella possesses, the escapability to be able to get away from the heat, find a little open area, just a little seam, and to make something out of nothing.
Did you see that hit Jim Ward put on Michael Richardson after the fake? He paid for that. Second down and 7, Ottawa. Over center field. Andre Ware with all kinds of time. He airs it out of the backfield to Michael Richardson. He's the one-man wrecking crew on this Ottawa offense so far, and Damian Lyons takes him out of bounds into the Ottawa bench.
Michael Richardson, not only a great runner as far as carrying the ball out of the backfield, but his true assets also, particularly when he was with Winnipeg, is being a very sound receiver out of the backfield. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense. The young quarterback showing some composure back there, some great confidence in his play calling, and he is creating an opportunity to keep the drives alive, keep the ball in their hands, and to make something happen for the Ottawa Rough Riders. They're still in control of their own destiny.
2-12, and with a win, they can stay alive in the playoff hunt, believe it or not. And you can hear the popping on that one, Kep. Dion Strother. Dion, like a guy we used to see back in the 70s, McQuay, taking it straight up the middle for hardly a gain. And it looks like it's going to be third and maybe a foot.
Going to take it right over Mike Schaab. If you look how they get driven back, that's James Monroe, the center, that gets driven back by Michael Armstrong and Rodney Harding. These guys know how to fill a gap. And the linebackers like Greg Battle come up over top and they make something happen big.
Another measurement, first down for Ottawa, and this offense showing uncharacteristic prolific tendencies here. It's a mouthful.
That is. I'm going to run out and buy a thesaurus here in a minute and figure out what you said.
Greg Battle, the strong silent type, leading this Memphis defense at middle linebacker. He has 50 tackles, second on the team. Once again, the shuttle pass to Richardson, and he's got all kinds of room and close to another first down as Ottawa stays on the ground. Michael Richardson, in only his second game back after tearing a hamstring, missing 8 games, almost half the season. What might have been for Ottawa had he been here the whole year?
You take a look in the middle there. That's James Monroe, the center, working one-on-one against Michael Armstrong. Does a good job to get him out of the pack and allow Michael Richardson to find a little daylight.
Second down and 2. Andre Ware throwing the ball nowhere. And so the Riders will come up short. And on comes Wayne Lamely and the field goal unit once again. So this is the third Ottawa drive to stall inside Memphis territory.
Just right out of the right-hand side of your screen, you can see how Tim Cofield was getting upfield, that incredible speed that he has. Got right up in Andre Ware's face, as he also got hit again by Michael Armstrong, just as he was releasing the ball. Wayne Lamely on to attempt the field goal.
This time at the 44-yard line of the Mad Dogs. Macias with the hold, Lamely with the big, high, thundering kick, and it's good. The Riders draw to within 1 with 1:54 to go in the first quarter in Memphis. Welcome back to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. This is an unusual field, Kep. You see they've added 6 yards of artificial turf on either side of the 100-yard, 52-yard wide American field to make it to the Canadian dimensions. But the problem here is that the bowl is not big enough to hold a regulation end zone of 20 yards. And so here in Memphis, the corners are only 6 yards deep. The deepest point in the middle is 14. Once teams get inside the 10-yard line, it's virtually impossible to pass. And so a lot of football teams here are treating the 25-yard line as the 10-yard line normally in their offensive attack. The kickoff from Lamely to Lucius Floyd. He tries to spin off the tackle of Brett Young, but Young gets enough on him to bring him down just across the 35-yard line. A 47-yard kickoff, an 11-yard return for Lucius Floyd.
Brett Young is one of those active defensive backs that hustles on every play. He is second on the team in tackles. He's actually 10th in the CFL in tackles, and he is an exciting special teams guy. Now we'll start to see some things from Damon Allen to come out there and see if he's going to be able to move that pocket around, put a little pressure on this Ottawa defense, and let those receivers work to the open area.
1st and 10, Mad Dogs. The give is to Floyd around the left side, and he gets across the 40-yard line just barely for a gain of maybe 1 yard on that play. Great pursuit by Ray Bernard, the middle linebacker for the Riders.
95, Ray Bernard.
Having a chance to talk with Ray Bernard yesterday. This is his second game back. Does a good job of working down the line of scrimmage. You can see this is like church let out. Everybody's leading and pulling and trying to get out in front of Lucius Floyd. Ray Bernard does an excellent job of being able to field his way through that and comes up and makes a solid tackle. Second game back from a shoulder separation where he missed 4 games.
Second down and 9. Mad Dogs as Damon Allen goes straight back, and he's got pressure. Rolls out. He's got some room down the left sideline. He's got first down and more. There you see the best running quarterback in the CFL. How many years did he go over 1,000 yards? 900 yards. A great gifted athlete, Charlie Clemens, the outside linebacker who finally forced Damon Allen out of bounds.
Dog ball, 1st and 10.
He's just fluid. He makes everything seem so effortlessly, the way that he runs around. And that doesn't look like he's running fast, but he is leaving people behind him, and he is creating some separation.
Tough field to play on, as we mentioned. The lowest scoring field in the Canadian Football League. The Mad Dogs have scored only 100 points. In 7 games, it's an average of only 14 points a game. The snap goes over Damon Allen's head, but he's got the ball. Tries to recover, all kinds of pursuit. Gets him opening across center field. And Damon Allen, tremendous performance, will be about 1 yard short of the first down marker.
Now get a 28-point winter inspection, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a 4-liter jug of washer fluid, all for just $24.99, only at Canadian Tire.
Gain of 8 for Damon Allen as he looks to the bench for the next play to be signaled in. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast he is no longer calling his own plays.
3rd and very short, so he wants a different crew to come out there, sending in a couple of guys, a little more weight in the backfield, getting Gary Anderson back in the backfield.
Ricky Foggy, the backup quarterback, the two of them having some good years in Edmonton. Foggy, of course, in Toronto, backing up Matt Dunnigan, the 91 Grey Cup. Now Allen with the call, and second down and a yard to go, Kep.
Started looking like old home week down there. Damon Allen, Ricky Foggy, Ed Berry. All of a sudden, then you have Damian Lyons. All those guys were in Edmonton together, so they're very familiar with themselves and also with the abilities of CFL players.
Quick give to Perkins over the right side of that line. It looks like he'll have enough for the first down to the 50. Jim Gilstrap, a trying first year as a head coach in this Canadian Football League after 9 years as an assistant. Mild-mannered, a real gentleman who could use a break in this football league. And right now, his Riders trail the Mad Dogs by 1 at the end of the opening quarter in Memphis. Welcome back to Memphis. On the left of your screen, having a cold beverage, you see Adam Rita, the special teams coach and assistant head coach of the Mad Dogs. Kepi started the season as the offensive coordinator, but after Game 6, he left that position. And Pepper Rogers said yesterday that he was so close with Damon Allen, they needed somebody to be a kick-butt coach. He was too nice a guy, and so they brought in Buddy Geis, who now has added fire and brimstone and is calling the plays for Damon Allen. A real dramatic change in the way the offense is being run, as Allen is sacked by Charlie Clemens. Nobody touched him around the left side.
Charlie Clemens does an excellent job since coming over after being released by Winnipeg into the Ottawa organization. There's a little bit of a connection there with linebackers. Mike Murphy, the son of Cal Murphy, is the linebacker coach for Ottawa, and he knows really good talent, and that is one of them right there. Charlie Clemens has been an impact player since arriving in the Ottawa organization.
Don't know what you make of that Adam Rita, Damon Allen situation, because the two of them were so prolific in Edmonton, winning the Grey Cup in 1993.
Well, just to finish the thoughts that we said, you know, Adam is a very laid-back kind of guy, but maybe that Pepper was looking for something else, a different direction, obviously.
Perkins with the reception, 2nd and 17, the situation. Perkins makes a great effort, but he just gets back over the original line of scrimmage. There's the first quarter, and it's all Ottawa on offense, kept 100 to 34 yards, and time of possession nearly double in Ottawa's favor. And something else very interesting about that opening quarter, no penalties. And we do know that Memphis is the least penalized team in the Canadian Football League.
They really are. They showed a lot of discipline, even though they did have 19 penalties in last week's game. But also, you can see now Ottawa cutting down their turnovers, also being able to create the possession drives. They're keeping the ball in their hands for a significant amount of that first quarter time.
Pete Gardier standing back at his own 48-yard line. This punting situation. 3rd and 8, the situation for the Mad Dogs. The punt return team for Ottawa. There's a flag on the play now.
Okay, just because that Winnipeg's out there, they're short a man.
Memphis number 10. 3rd down repeated.
You can see number 34, that's Gary Anderson running onto the field. And this just shows you the kind of respect that they have for a guy like Anderson. He's 34 years old. This is not any spring chicken out there, but he's out there running special teams.
I say we no sooner talk about the game being clean and no penalties, we get our first penalty of the game. Mad Dogs leading the league. The cleanest team in the Canadian Football League so far this season. Ken Evrer standing back at his own 7-yard line. The punt return unit for Ottawa clearly lacking speed, with Mark Ricks being taken off the roster for this game. Gardaire's punt, a high sailing boot that goes into the end zone, rolls off the natural grass, falls onto that incline of artificial turf, and Ken Evrer will give up the single point.
And a late flag coming in there, Mark, but you could see as Ken Evrer made the recovery of the ball, his feet slipped out from under him, and that is a definite incline. It drops off. It looks like maybe a foot or two the last 6 or 7 yards in the back.
Easily. That was a 60-yard punt by Gardaire, but no yards against the Mad Dogs. They get 2 penalties.
No yards.
Now.
Memphis 31. Penalties decline. Single point.
So Ottawa will decline the penalty. The Mad Dogs will get a single, make it 8-6 Memphis, and the Riders will scrimmage the ball at their own 35, choosing the field position and giving up the point.
It's a good call. It's a good call early. Then all of a sudden, now it puts the young quarterback where they've been having some consistency. They're having some success. To go back there, stay composed, do the things that you've been doing, because the thing that they have been doing is executing the plays very well.
Michael Richardson with 22 yards on the ground and 23 yards through the air. The yeoman so far in this Ottawa offense as Ware rolls right. Screens the pass to Dion Strother, who ambles across the 40-yard line. As far as the 42, the gain will be maybe 7. Make it 2nd and 3. Darryl Ford making the tackle. Darryl Ford, there's a name from the past. 1991, led the CFL in tackles with more than 150. Went with that Grey Cup champion Argo team. Went back to the NFL with Detroit, and now he's back in the CFL where he belongs. He's got great speed, great mobility.
6'1", 225. He can get there, and when he gets there, he can make you pay a very heavy price.
Michael Richardson wide open in a 2nd and 3 situation, but the ball is thrown short, and so the Riders waste an opportunity to convert a first down situation. Andre Ware, he knows that for sure.
Take a look just a second as at number 55 is Tim Cofield, who again gets up in Andre Ware's face and forces him for the 2nd time to throw the ball off target and a little quicker than he wants to.
Anthony Jordan back at his own 20-yard line, awaiting this delivery, this punt from Wayne Lamley. 8-6, Mad Dogs in front. Less than 12 minutes to go before the half as Lamley sends a skyrocket back to the 22-yard line, where Anthony Jordan picks it up and crosses the 25, and he's met immediately, and there's another flag on the play. The Mad Dogs lead it by 2 with 11:46 to go in the first half. Gorgeous day for football in the Deep South. You hear the band and the home team in the lead by 2 here early in the 2nd quarter, and the Mad Dogs go on offense, anchored by this man, number 61, Vance Hammond. Hadn't played offensive line, Kip, until this year. In fact, last year, his entire career was a defensive lineman. Last year in Sacramento, he had 4 sacks.
Well, the Mad Dogs went out and they signed some free agents, and they signed them on the defensive side. He's the only guy with CFL experience.
The give to Al Shipman, and he's got fancy footwork, gets across the 20-yard line after nearly stumbling 5 yards back. Al Shipman, small back at 5'8", 175 pounds out of Miami. Brett Young for the Riders putting the hooks on him. Hard to see, Kep, a back like him when he squirts out behind that huge offensive line.
All of a sudden, he's going to hide behind those big guys that are 6'6", 300, and then he's going to shoot right by you. He's able to get around Charlie Clements. He's got some great footwork. This guy has been timed at 4.28 in the 40. He's the youngest and the fastest on the Memphis team.
Damon Allen airs it into the backfield to Bruce Perkins, and he's got a first down over the 30-yard line. Stephen Reed and Charlie Clemens, Ray Bernard, a host of Ottawa tacklers to make the stop on Perkins, the former Tiger Cat.
Here's the incredible difference that we find with the American-based teams, too, is the depth that they can have and what they possess in every position. You have Gary Anderson, you have Bruce Perkins, you have Shipman, you have Lucius Floyd. All of those guys are rotating in there, and they're not losing a step with any one of them in there at the backfield.
1st and 10. The give is to Shipman again, and he's elusive. Gets across the 40-yard line, breaks at least 3 tackles, but there's a flag back at the 30-yard line, and Derek McCready is pointing, take it back. Al Shipman, the diminutive little running back with all kinds of speed, hard to bring down.
Preliminary indication, offside against Ottawa.
Offside. Ottawa. Penalties declined. First down.
Derek McCready was wrong on that one as the Mad Dogs decline the penalty and take the gain, move the yard sticks once again with another first down at their own 45-yard line.
But Mark, you know for a fact those defensive linemen, if they know they're going to get caught and jumped offside somewhere, whoever yells the loudest and screams the most and points the biggest finger, sometimes you can be very convincing and you can win a case that way. McCready did not fare very well with Dave Ewell.
Not so subtle. 1st and 10. Damon Allen with a short drop straight back. He's got a man wide open at the 50. That's Tony Anthony making the catch. Another first down for the Mad Dogs, and they're on the march now in the second quarter. Anthony Jordan. Anthony Jordan filling the ample shoes of Joe Horn, the leading receiver on this Mad Dog offense.
Take a look on the other side. This is Walter Wilson out of East Carolina University. He's going to let you know that this Ottawa secondary is playing it very physical. You come over there, you don't have your feet up underneath it, you're going to land on your tail somewhere because we're going to put you down. And if you're laying down, you can't catch any passes.
1st and 10, Mad Dogs across Ottawa's side of center. Gary Morris took a heck of a shot as he hung on to that pass. Emmanuel Martin, replacing Mark Ricks in the corner, come up behind him and drilled him.
Gary Morris out of Norfolk State. This is his second year. Comes into this game with 17 catches for just over 200 yards. Had a brief coffee stop with the Edmonton Eskimos last year.
Hot dog and a cup of coffee. You know, the Riders had coverage problems last week against San Antonio. That's one of the reasons that Jim Gilstrap, the head coach of Ottawa, decided to take Mark Ricks out of the cornerback position, bring Antonius Bonner back into the game after missing a game with the hip pointer, and moving Emmanuel Martin over the corner. And you see there, Martin, an aggressive defensive back.
Well, I think that's what you like. I mean, anytime that you're out there on the island all by yourself, you have to be some type of an intimidator. And if the guy's going to catch the ball in front of you, even if you give him a little cushion, you have to make that receiver know he's going to pay a price.
Number 7, Emmanuel Martin from Alabama State, 5'11", 188 pounds. Man on an island in this game, the cornerback. And the march continues for the Mad Dogs. The give straight up the middle, up the gut to Bruce Perkins, and there's not too much room as that Ottawa defensive four. You see John Kropke stacked it up. The gain, 2, maybe 1.5.
Big surge off that right side. Bill Lewis and Chuck Bradley, right guard, right tackle. Now these guys are tipping, like I said, they're 6'6", 300 each. The Ottawa on the other side, Kropke and those guys are having nothing to do with it. They're getting into the gaps and stuffing them.
And the Riders are giving away 20, maybe 30 pounds a man there. Over the middle. And it's complete to Sean Collins, the big NFL veteran who was at the Bomber training camp and opened the season with Winnipeg this year. Hanging on, and now the ball goes across the 30 to the 24-yard line of Ottawa. And Kep, this is a situation. Take a look at the replay, and I'll tell you about the situation they face.
Damon Allen with a good, quick release that time. He reads Collins just as he clears outside the linebacker, in front of the safety, and Damon Allen put the ball low and on the money.
Ball on the 24. The offense now treating this like the ball is on the 9 or 10-yard line because of the short end zone. The give, though, is to Perkins around the left side, and he builds up a head of steam and crosses the 20. Can he rumble? Bill Lewis and Todd Jones pulling on the play, and boy, he had a great block.
Big sweep out there. And I tell you what, again, you're having Todd Jones out there. He's again 6'3", 300. Bill Lewis is 6'6", 300, leading the pack. And Perkins does an excellent job picking up those blocks, setting them up, and picking up significant yardage.
Inside the 25, the Mad Dogs have scored only one TD. That's nearly picked off by Emmanuel Martin. A late throw to the flat, and Martin nearly took it the other way for 6. Gary Morris was the intended receiver on the play, and Martin's having a good game.
These are the kind of things that corners will do every now and then. They'll bait you enough, they'll let you throw the ball in front of them 2 or 3 times. There was an old defensive back that I played with back in the heydays named Larry Highball who would do that. He was a big mark against him. You could throw the ball in front of him, throw the ball in front of him. But on about the 6th or 7th pass, somewhere it was going back 6 the other way.
Laying in the weeds.
And Emmanuel Martin almost had that opportunity.
Maestrom now with a 26-yard field goal attempt from the left hash. And it's a mere chip shot. It's good. And the Mad Dogs extend their lead to 5 points. It's 11-6 with 6:41 to go in the opening half. Ottawa head coach Jim Gilstrap has had a pretty tough time assembling a football team throughout this year. The last time Ottawa and Memphis met back on July 19th, it was 23-20 for Memphis. 14 players who took part in that game for the Riders are no longer on this team, Kevin.
That's been the big key. Injuries and also the changeover of players just has not allowed Coach Gilstrap to create an environment and an atmosphere of continuity where these guys get to know one another and work with one another day in and day out.
The kickoff from Maestrom, taken by Nigel Williams inside the 15, crosses the 20, looking for the wall. Good pursuit. Jamie Redmond gets in to break up what looked like a promising return. 62 yards the kickoff, only 11 yards the return, but there's a flag on the play.
Now get a 28-point winter inspection, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a 4-liter jug of washer fluid, all for just $24.99, only at Canadian Tire.
Nigel Williams will have to strap it up once again because Memphis was offside on that kickoff. 5-yard penalty. They'll take the ball back to the 30 kip, and they'll kick it all over again.
To the advantage of Nigel, he didn't have a very good opportunity to make that return. Take a look at Andre Ware having a conversation with one of his inside slots. That's Jay Christensen, signed as a free agent this year with the Ottawa Rough Riders, played with the Edmonton Eskimos last year.
Andre Ware has looked smooth so far in this football game, controlling the ball. They say, Kep, that he's really working hard on seeing the field, improving his vision. This quarter, though, Ottawa hardly having its hands on the ball on offense. 1 minute 33 compared to nearly 7 minutes for Memphis. Here comes the Maestrom kick a second time around. It's Nigel Williams again across his 30-yard line. Runs into his own man. Remy Trudell, who was back there on the return, got his signals crossed. The return, once again, 11 yards like the first time around. There goes Alien to get the kicking tee.
Take a look. This is just guys trying to work hard to get up into the hole to see if he can make a block. Miscommunication, that's going to happen. Nigel Williams gets to line it up at the slot back, and there's Alien. He's working hard today.
He's more disciplined than some of the football players out there.
And we have an illegal block against the Ottawa Rough Riders on that last return. It backs it up. It'll make it 1st and 10 on the Ottawa 22.
After the penalty against Ottawa,
the Riders will scrimmage just across their 20-yard line as Andre Ware breaks the huddle. 3 touchdown passes this former Heisman Trophy winner has thrown in 3 games so far in the Canadian Football League. He's got a big gun. Handoff, though, to Richardson, and he's stacked up. Nowhere to go against that big defensive line you like so much, Kep, from Memphis.
Number 26,
Darryl Ford getting a lot more action in this game. He started as a backup to Dawson.
Take a look. This is the mismatch you're going to get. Struthers against Tim Cofield. Cofield says, hey, get out of my face.
Threw him away like a rag doll.
A little bit of a rag dog there. They may send Alien out to pick him up and drag him off.
Here's Ware with the hitch pass to Ray Alexander. He makes a nifty move across the 20, but it's not going to be enough as the Rider punting unit comes on the field. Darryl Ford once again, the first man to make contact.
This guy was with Toronto, as you said, 90 and 91. He's all CFL 2 times in his CFL career so far. Went to Pittsburgh and also to Atlanta in 93. Andre Ware having some problems. Where he was having some success in the first quarter is he was getting good production on his first downs. Gave him some opportunities, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, to open up his repertoire a little bit. this past second quarter. A lot of heat by the Memphis defense, creating a situation, putting Andre, that Ottawa offense, in 2nd and long.
Here's the punt from Lamely. Forces Jordan over his 40-yard line, but he's quick and immediately regains at least 10 yards of field position before Eric Dieter, number 19 of the Riders, brings him down. Here's a look at the unusually small dimensions of the end zones here at the Liberty Bowl. From the goal line to the corner, 6 yards. It slants back to 14 in the middle, and it slopes off like a ski slope.
It really does. And when you go from that grass, you go to the turf, all of a sudden it changes everything. And take a look at the points that have been scored.
Lowest scoring stadium, the hardest field to score on, and it's no wonder as Damon Allen wings the ball up over center field, and Sean Collins, the big slot back, pulls it in and takes a lick. That's concentration.
Sean Collins comes in here with some great credentials in 1989, first-round pick of the Atlanta Falcons. But take a look at Damon Allen. Reads the safety, the zone defense. Soon as Collins clears the linebacker, he's got that great arm strength and vision, throws the ball extremely well. But take a look here. This is one of the good reasons. Big Christopher Perez, the left tackle, on Horace Morris and keeps him out of Damon Allen's face.
Damon Allen with a quick drop, throws to the right side. Once again, it's Anthony Jordan with a little move. He breaks free of the tackle. Another first down. Eric Jeter tried to put the grab on him. Little shake of the shoulders kept, and he was by him. Brett Young had to come over to support that tackle.
Damon Allen has the arm strength to get it out there on the long out, but just a little shake and bake here. Eric Jeter doesn't break down, and he's not able to grab up any cloth and do strike the receiver. Brent Young comes over with the touchdown saving tackle.
1st and 10, Memphis on the 30. Pump fake by Allen. He's going deep into the end zone. Wide open was Anthony Jordan, but he overthrew him. And Anthony Jordan ran out of room in that short end zone. So there you see the Mad Dogs trying to score from the 30-yard line. As we mentioned earlier, because of the short end zones, they'll try to strike from further out.
Depending on the routes that are called, they have to really do. They have to change their routes, change the depth of some of the routes because of the way this end zone works. And as you say, from the 25 in, they start incorporating the kind of plays that we would normally see teams use on the 10-yard line. Damon Allen had him wide open. Anthony Jordan just overthrew him. Good pump and stop and go fake. Did an excellent job. I think that looks like Christopher Perez.
Chris Perez, the left offensive tackle from Kansas, is down, and they're working on his calf. Could be a cramp. The big 6'5", 280-pound tackle from Barcelona of the World League.
Well, Mark, you want something to blame the CFL's problems on. I guess you can try the quota. It's everybody's favorite issue these days, especially so for Canadian-based teams if they get waxed by American squads. Dan Peroni, as president of the CFLPA, wants Canadian players to continue to be protected by the quota. Stephen Brunt, Globe and Mail columnist, longtime follower of the CFL, would like to see it scrapped. They'll exchange viewpoints in the BF Goodrich TA halftime report at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee today. Mark?
Well, Scott, the Canadian quota always grist for good old-fashioned hot stover, and we look forward to that at the half as Perez makes his way off the field. Guy Earl, number 67, will come in to replace him. He's the twin brother. John played last year with Baltimore. 2nd down as Damon Allen drops back. Flush from the pocket. Dumps it out to Gary Anderson, and he's stopped dead at the 26. Eric Dieter, the cornerback for Ottawa, with a great open field tackle.
Terrific open field. That's what defense is all about. He takes that back, stands Gary Anderson up straight in his tracks. Jeter comes up, squats down. Damon Allen, having some time to throw the ball, wants to look to 2 or 3 different receivers. But here's what happens a lot of times with these offensive linemen. They're doing such a good job holding guys out. You just lose a starter, and you put a backup guy in. They don't lose any depth whatsoever. Jeter comes in. Look how low he gets. Good leg extension, and is able to stop a big back, Gary Anderson, 6 foot, 200 pounds, right where he caught the ball.
32-yard field goal attempt by Maestrom is good. And once again, another offensive drive inside the 25-yard line here on this short end zone field stalls. The Mad Dogs now extend their lead to 8 with 3 to go in the half. Welcome back to Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium in Memphis. Capacity 62,424. Lots of good seats still available. Kept.
We're close. We're close.
There's a Dallas Cowboys game 3 hours up the turnpike. Cowboys and Packers, and maybe these American-based teams ought to reconsider holding their football games on a Sunday at midday.
Well, I think probably next year, depending on the swazzle that this schedule was, guys playing 3 games in 10 or 12 days, those kind of things. It's too tough on the athletes. They're getting beat up too much out there. So I'm sure that the commissioner will take a look at all of the points that have been brought up to him.
A lot of folks missing some good football as Ray Alexander takes the hitch, pass, uses the old-fashioned straight arm to get himself some more yards, and is finally pushed out of bounds by Damian Lyons. The gain is 8, almost 9 yards on the play.
The young quarterback going again to the veteran. Ray Alexander trying to stretch this Memphis defense out a little bit. Now that he's done that a significant number of times, I think he needs to create some focus to look back inside to his slots a little bit, and he may have some more success.
Michael Richardson cuts back against the grain on 2nd and 2. He fumbles the ball. And it's recovered by Memphis. Alex Gordon's got it and returns it back to the Ottawa 35-yard line. And turnovers hurt the Riders again. Michael Richardson is screaming at the officials. He said he was down, that the field made contact with the ball and jarred it loose, but the officials will hear none of that. They're giving the ball to Memphis.
Well, we're going to be able to be zebras ourselves and call this play. Michael Richardson working extremely hard. 2nd and 3rd effort, but the ball, you can see, he does not have possession of the ball. His knee does hit. It's caught in between 2 players. I would say that's a good call by the officials. Take a look. There's the ball. It's loose now. No one has possession of it, except Alex Gordon comes up with the big turnover in the fumble recovery.
The give is to Al Shipman. Little Al Shipman with not much room as Charlie Clemens puts the hook on him. Happy Alex Gordon with the turnover. 2:05 to go. The Mad Dogs with a chance to run up the lead. They lead 14-6.
Alex Gordon comes into the Memphis Mad Dog organization with a lot of football experience. 3 years with the Jets, 3 years with Cincinnati. 87 with the Jets. He's with the All-NFL rookie team. So he's been around, and he's a great athlete. 6'5", 250. Perfect size for a defensive end.
And the leading tackler on that Mad Dog defense. Damon Allen finds Sean Collins, who slides for the catch. There's another flag on the play with the ball at the 1st down marker. The Mad Dogs have yet to score a touchdown in this football game.
Debut holding against Memphis. Back it up. Take a look at the eyes. No eyes.
Holding.
Pepper Rogers.
Memphis 63, 10 yards, 2nd down.
Call from referee Dave Ewell. They'll take it back and make it 2nd and about 18. Here's a look at the penalty, Kep.
Just
take a look at the line. Oh, yeah.
There he is. Big Todd Jones all of a sudden puts the arm bar
The hogtied
on Horace Morris and John Kroenke in the middle, and he gets caught. It's hard not to see a big man like that. 6'3", 300 pounds out of Henderson State.
That was blatant. 2nd and 18. Damon Allen standing at the 50. All kinds of room. He takes off. Lots of room over the 30. And finally hauled down by Ray Bernard at the 27-yard line. He'll be short of a 1st down. Damon Allen. Gifted runner. Brother Marcus, of course, of the National Football League, and the fans here exhorting the Mad Dogs to go for it. And Pepper Rogers gives them the green light. Here comes the Elephant Squad. Nope, they decided to bring Pete Gardere into the game. The fans don't like that. So once again, Kep, the Mad Dogs can't find the end zone.
This Ottawa defense seems to be bending a little bit, but not breaking. The Ottawa offense coming away with some points, but obviously they would like to get it in for the major. Maestrom with 2 for 2 through the night on field goal attempts.
Ball will be pinned at the 34-yard line for Nick Maestrom. So far, he's been simply perfect. Hold, and it's good. And so bit by bit, the Mad Dogs move away from the Rough Riders. It's 17-6 Memphis. Nick Mystrom, the youngster, getting a pat from his teammates. So see the number 2 on his helmet for Junior Robinson. Here's the replay. McCready getting all kinds of height there, but right down the middle.
Good solid kick. Good quick setting up front by that offensive line, taking on the defenders, slowing them in their tracks, not letting any penetration take place. Allows Mystrom to have a great opportunity to make that field goal as he did.
Here's Andre Ware over the middle. Ooh. James Ellingson, the intended receiver on that play. And there's an injured Mad Dog. Looks like Adrian Smith slow to get up. Smith had fallen down right in front of Ellingson, and Ellingson tripped over him trying to get to the ball.
Adrian Smith playing safety. Don Odegaard moving over to the left halfback position. But here's an opportunity as James Ellingson is led just right inside of the safety, Adrian Smith, who had an opportunity, had he not fallen, to make a pick on that play.
Andre Ware with time in a short set, but he overthrows Nigel Williams. Williams wasn't even looking for the ball, and this Ottawa offense that looked so crisp in the first quarter has gone cold in the second quarter.
At some point, they seem to have gotten away from some of the play selections that they were being so successful with in that first quarter. Rushing the ball a little bit to Michael Richardson, throwing the ball short to Alexander. And here's what's going to happen when you take your time, you're not sure of your read, and you stand in the pocket a little longer than you should. Tim Cofield's going to come and say hi to you.
Well, we wondered how long it would take for him to get in there. Tim Cofield, who coming into this weekend was leading the league in sacks with 17, is now number 2. Tied actually with that hit, but came into the game with 17. Kep is now tied with number 2 behind Elfrid Payton, who had 2 yesterday, now has 18.
There's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play as Lamely was set to punt for Ottawa.
Time count violation.
And so the Riders seemingly disorganized here in the third down situation. And they'll get pushed back again by 5 more yards. As a jet flies over top, we're quite close to the international airport here at the Liberty Bowl. Jim Gilstrap trying to ignite this offense.
A concerned look on Gilstrap's face. It just looks like for some reason, this is 2 different Ottawa ball clubs between the first quarter when they came out.
Time count violation. Ottawa number 9, third down.
Seem to have established themselves. They did some very sound things offensively. Their defense played extremely well, and in the second half seemed to be sputtering quite a bit. Lamely only averaging a little over 39 yards in the kick, so Memphis should get good field position.
Need his big leg here as Lamely angles the ball out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. There's some pushing and shoving down on the field. Darrell Ford with a scuffle there, and happy Thanksgiving. Nice sign from the fans here recognizing the Canadian holiday weekend here. A 37-yard punt for Lamely, well below his best. Don't forget, on Thanksgiving Monday, we've got a CFL on CBC doubleheader. It's Calgary at BC. That game's always worth some leather popping. And then we're in Toronto, where the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will continue their attempt for that 5th and final playoff spot in the North Division with the loss by Saskatchewan yesterday, 29-27 to Baltimore. The Bombers' hopes still very much alive as Damon Allen releases the pass to the 50-yard line to Lucius Floyd, but he put it into the turf on a skip.
Lucius Floyd, since coming over from the trade with the Memphis Mad Dogs that sent Eddie Brown, downtown Eddie Brown, back to the Edmonton Eskimos, just now starting to feel comfortable with this offense, learning the new system. Talked to him a little bit before the game. He says, hey, Kep, but man, they got me playing special teams now. He said, I'm not used to playing special teams.
Only came into the game with 2 carries for 3 yards, so he has been used sparingly until now. The shotgun formation is Damon Allen dumps it off to Perkins. Perkins crosses the 50, tries to get around the Ottawa defender. Dwayne Knight with the good hands, the sure hands, and takes him down for a gain of about 5.
When you have active linebackers that are good tacklers, solid tacklers, second and long situations, play that zone defense, force Damon Allen to have to throw it short, dumped it off to his secondary receiver, in this case Bruce Perkins, and then have those linebackers react up on it, make the tackle short of the first down, put it into a punting situation exactly as it's drawn up on the board.
So the offense is struggling now against two pretty tough defensive football teams. Pete Gardier standing back at his own 38-yard line, takes a quick snap, gets a high spiraling skyhook that drives Ottawa back to the goal line. This is Ken Evrere, he drops the ball. Ken Evrere, normally known for his sure hands, coughs it up, but Ottawa recovers. There's a penalty on the play.
And that was the one key of having Ken Evrere and also Trudell back there as punt returners, is that they do have such great hands and they can field the punt. And the one thing that Coach Gilstrap said was, all we want them to do is field it, get it upfield for 10 yards. That's one less first down.
Illegal block. Ottawa 47.
That's number 47, Stephen Reed, who comes in, a backup linebacker, did an excellent job to recover that ball once it was knocked loose of Ken Evrere.
And so the Riders now in the shadow of their own goalpost. The ball spotted just across the 3-yard line. Only 14 seconds to go in the opening half. 17-6 Riders, and not much time and a lot of yardage to the Memphis goal line.
That's the man in the middle. Greg Battle patrols there.
Give to Michael Richardson. He might have a yard, if that, before he's smothered by the Memphis defense.
On the right, number 31,
Pepper Rogers, who has been a controversial figure in the Canadian Football League by saying the fans here don't like 3 downs, they want 4. They want 100 yards, they don't want 110. He says it's like watching baseball with 2 strikes and 3 balls.
Don't get me started on that right now. Take a look. This is what Greg Battle is looking at. Monroe, the center, does an excellent job getting out quickly after making the snap. Good explosion off the line of scrimmage. Gets in Greg Battle's face.
Greg Battle, the 2-time most outstanding defensive player in the Canadian Football League. The strong, silent type, leads by example. The number 2 tackler on this defense, behind Alex Gordon, coming into this football game. 10 seconds to go in the half, and the Mad Dogs have called a timeout.
Greg Battle again, 87 and 93 with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, where he did win those 2 titles. 94, he was with the defunct Las Vegas Posse and actually the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Jovanovich getting into a shoving match. Looked like Armstrong on the play.
See, these guys have had a chance to meet each other. This is the
Unnecessary
third
roughness.
meeting.
Memphis 58 after the play. 15 yards, first down.
Calling Alex Gordon for unnecessary roughness.
Like I said, this is the third meeting of these 2 teams. One in exhibition season, one time back in middle of July when Ottawa lost 23-20. So now they're starting to build up a little bit of a rivalry here, and maybe a little bit of a dislike for one another personally.
You see Gordon manhandling the left tackle, Jovanovich. Jovanovich tries to dispute the block, and he gets thrown down again, adding insult to that play. And Ottawa is content to grind this ball out with 7 seconds to go. Andre Ware looking to run down the clock in the Canadian Football League, of course. The stop time now. The clock is running to 0. The Riders will have 1 more play.
You know, some of those times when the new players come into a team, it's very hard because you're so intent on trying to teach them the X's and O's. Sometimes you forget to teach them all the rules.
Well, that's the gun to end the opening half, and it's all Mad Dogs after a strong second quarter for Memphis. They lead it 17-6 over Ottawa.
Welcome to the B.F. Goodrich TA halftime. Now, here's your host, Scott Oak.
At Memphis, Tennessee, the Mad Dogs lead by 11. Well, we thought long and hard about this halftime and finally ruled out the never-ending is Elvis still alive discussion, electing instead to go with a more rational discussion on the quota and whether it's hurting the Canadian Football League. The quota sees Canadian-based teams forced to play 17 Canadians, while American-based teams have no such restrictions. We brought together 2 people with opposing viewpoints. Dan Peroni is the president of the Canadian Football League Players Association. There is no need to say on what side of the issue he stands, and Stephen Brunt is a columnist for the Toronto Globe and Mail. Dan, if we accept that most people just want to see the best football players on the field, is it not time to give up the ghost on the Canadian quota?
Well, the first thing is the best football players are playing. They're on the field. This quota is starting to become responsible for a lot of things that are happening that have nothing to do with the quota. The players that are on the team, the system that's in place for this Canadian quota allows for the best player to be playing in the Canadian Football League.
Stephen, you see this as no small issue. Are we essentially talking about the future of the Canadian Football League here?
Well, I think in some ways we are, because we're talking about money, and of course money is the issue in the Canadian Football League. I think at base this is an economic issue, and I don't know how the Canadian teams are going to survive when there's not a level playing field economically. Never mind the competitive imbalance problem, which is part of it. But I think it's just the fact that you're creating a scarcity, you're creating higher salaries for Canadian players, and you're getting dollars in Canadian, paying them out in American to American players. I just don't see how the Canadian teams are going to survive under this system much longer.
Stephen, let me suggest this to you. In Western Canada, the face of the CFL is not the hired guns who come up here from the U.S. to play during the season and leave as soon as it's over. It's Walby, it's Gorell, it's Ray Elgart. Lose those players, and CFL teams, especially in the West, lose their identity. Do you not agree?
I think continuity of rosters yeah, I think it is an issue, and I think that the league was strongest when Canadians and Americans stuck on rosters and played longer. I think some of the people you're talking about who gave it identity in the past were Americans who stuck around, maybe because, to some degree, because they could become naturalized Canadians under the import rules. That is going to be a problem, but if it's the basic survival of the business we're talking about and not job creations for Canadian players in the immediate future, I just don't see how you're going to be able to make the argument to a guy like Cal Murphy and say, look, yeah, you keep the Walbys around, pay him $70,000, pay him $80,000, when there are guys out there who would play for half that.
Dan, how far are you prepared to go in the offseason when you meet with Larry Smith, commissioner of the CFL? Are you going to compromise here?
Well, you have to understand a couple of things. We have already talked about the issue. Really, it's not an adjustment of the quota, and it's not a modification. It's total elimination. And as Canadian football players and as Canadian fans, they do not want to see the elimination of the quota. So we've already offered the naturalization of Americans. You know that they pay 2 players full salaries, but they don't let them play. Why can't they play? That increases the roster by 2. Why do we always have to look at amputating the problem? Why can't we enhance the rosters? So these are issues that we've addressed with the league. Well, they have a mandate, though. It's the elimination of the ratio. No, we're not bound, and we're not even considering that to be true.
I think Dan's right. The agenda from the league end is to get rid of the quota, and I think they're going to get rid of it. As long as they're playing football on both sides of the border, the quota is not going to stay. And I don't know what that means from a union perspective. I don't know what kind of showdown we're talking about here. But make no mistake about it. There's not going to be a quota in this league if the people who run the league have their way.
And Dan, what bargaining power do you have? Obviously, CFL players aren't in position to strike here.
Well, never strike, never lock out. I mean, the key thing is to come to a compromise and see what's best for the Canadian Football League. And that's what we're working towards. There is issues at hand. What power do we have? Well, they've looked for the 1-year extension because they weren't able to change it. I think the power lies in the fan base. I think the power lies in the politicians and the Canadians that recognize how much the public dollars, government dollars, goes to support the Canadian Football League and how important it is for Canadians to be a part of the Canadian Football League in Canada. That's the power we have. As players, we rely on them to make the decision. Because bottom line, if the fans aren't going to worry or care about the quota, well then how can the players do it? I mean, they see it. And so far we've been told that this is an important issue to the fans, to the media base, to the Canadians themselves. And as long as it's a major issue with them, it's a major issue with us, the Canadian Football League players, all of us, U.S. and Canadian.
If Canadians had cared enough about watching Canadians play Canadian football when there were 8 Canadian teams to buy and bought tickets and numbers to support those teams, then the league wouldn't have expanded and this wouldn't have been an issue. The problem is all those nice nationalist sentiments that are being spewed right now, and I tend, they're great, and motherhood, and I agree with all of them, but the point is all those people who were saying that we're not buying tickets for this league, and that's why we're in the situation. That's why they crossed the border, and that's why this doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, but Stephen, our attendance in Canada is up. The numbers are 10%. TV audience or TV viewing is up here in Canada. It is happening.
How many of those franchises are making money, Dan?
Well, the issue of making money is a whole nother ballgame.
Well, it's a business, though.
It is a business. So what are we saying? That because we have more people are watching, we're doing bad business? I mean, we have to analyze what is the problem.
Unless you're going to run it as the Museum of Canadian Football and as a as a hothouse industry, it's going to be a bottom line. And guys like Bill Comrie and the other people who put their money to this thing are going to say, look, I'm losing money. I don't want to lose that money anymore. the hell with the nationalist stuff. I want to do business the same way everyone else is doing
And you're
business.
absolutely right, and that's true. But is eliminating the quota going to make it better? Is eliminating the quota going to put more seats in the stands? Is there going to be more fans because you've eliminated the quota, or is there going to be less? Is there going to be more apathy here in Canada towards the Canadian Football League? What's going to happen? That's the question. That's the business question you have to ask, what all those owners have to ask. Are you better off without a quota, or are you better with the quota?
Well, I think one thing is perfectly clear. This issue is not going to go away anytime soon. It'll be talked about for a long time, especially in the off-season. We're going to have to leave it there. I thank you both for your time.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Scott.
you.
The North-South Series stands at 27-17 in favor of the South, but consider that many of those victories have been registered by first-year teams, and it's hard to discount the advantage that teams like Memphis have. Here, the Mad Dogs lead at the half. At the Liberty Bowl, Memphis leads Ottawa on 3 field goals and a touchdown. The Elvis legacy is everywhere in Memphis. The city's #1 landmark is Graceland, which you'll find off Elvis Presley Boulevard. It's in the south end of Memphis. Graceland is a huge complex on over 13 acres of land, and the focal point of it is the mansion that Elvis purchased in 1957 at the age of 22. He lived here until his death in 1977. About 2,000 visitors a day, sometimes more, pay $17 each to see how Elvis lived. So he's big business 18 years after his death, and he's honored in any number of ways. Welcome back as the BF Goodrich TA halftime continues from Memphis. The most powerful American-based team in the CFL is the Stallions, but yesterday they got all they could handle from Saskatchewan at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Don Narcisse had 2 touchdowns for the Green Riders. What a game, what a career for Narco, who's over 1,000 yards for the 7th consecutive season. This catch gave Saskatchewan a 17-0 lead. It used to be the exclusive territory of the Giz in Edmonton, but Baltimore has one of the league's most outstanding kick returners now in Chris Wright. In the 4th quarter, Wright, with Saskatchewan howling about a missed clip, returned a Ridgway missed field goal 100 yards. How about that spin move on Ridgway himself? And the return set up a Carlos Huerta field goal. And then with only seconds to go, Huerta's 5th field goal of the game delivered Baltimore a 29-27 victory and first place in the South, replete with home field advantage in the playoffs. Baltimore will host the division semifinal on Saturday, November 4th. At Shreveport yesterday, Hamilton fell to the Pirates by 12. The Cats have now lost 4 in a row, and 4th place is not safe for them. Don't forget, in about 30 minutes, San Antonio kicks off at Birmingham. We'll update you. And tomorrow, in our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader, it's Calgary at BC to start, and then it's Winnipeg at Toronto. Bombers with a chance to take sole possession of the 5th and final playoff spot in the North. Here in Memphis, the Mad Dogs lead Ottawa. Here are Mark Lee and Dan Kepley. And boys, one thing I noticed in the first quarter, Michael Richardson can still run the ball, but then Damon Allen proved the same point in the second quarter.
Right you are, Scott, and if I dare say, this football field is living up to its reputation of being the hardest place to score in the Canadian Football League. Kept, when you looked at Memphis was inside the 34 times it could score only 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. Ottawa with, 2 field goals to show for its offense.
Well, they really are, and I tell you what's happening right now. The Ottawa defense is coming out, and they're playing pretty sound. Offensively, they came out in the first quarter, established a lot of good, solid plays, running the ball with Richardson, passing it inside, but then some big turnovers seemed to help them, hurt them again.
Well, turnovers have been the demise of Ottawa all year. They're the worst in the league at that point, and here's a perfect example.
Just a mental breakdown in the offensive line, blocking, not blocking. Rodney Harding, who came through, blocked the field goal. Then all of a sudden, Greg Battle wants to try to pick it up, get into the rugby game. This is the Canadian Football League. Rodney, well, there goes again. And all of a sudden, Smith comes up with it and turns it over and puts Damon Allen and the Memphis Mad Dogs in excellent field position.
Exactly, Kep. That set the table for the only touchdown of this football game.
Well, and Damon Allen just doing what Damon Allen does best. Looking for his primary receiver. Nobody's there. Having to bring it down. Good coverage in the Ottawa secondary. Now he's going to scramble, but he's still looking downfield to find an open receiver. And there he does. Right out of the corner of his eye, Gary Anderson pops up into the open area and then gets the ball into the end zone.
Defenses can only hold their coverage so long, and right there, Damon Allen put pressure on the secondary. Scott talked about Michael Richardson and his prowess in the first half. I dare say that maybe Ottawa's been a bit one-dimensional using him so much.
Well, I think they may need to use him a little bit, but start to spread the ball out across their receivers.
Scott, will see if Ottawa alters its game plan in the second half.
Thank you, boys. That's the BF Goodrich TA halftime report. The second half is next on the agenda at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, with Memphis up by 11.
Deep for Ottawa. Number 18,
Welcome back
Williams,
to
and number
gorgeous
24,
Memphis on a
Freddie
beautiful day for football. And if we weren't here at this football game, this is the only place I'd rather be, on a showboat down the Mississippi.
Let's go for a ride on that big paddle wheel one time, Mark.
The showboats, they called the USFL team back here in the 80s, and it was apropos. Showboats, one of the big attractions here in Memphis, Tennessee. Have you got your Elvis souvenirs yet? I thought you had that little toy guitar in your room there.
I was trying that. Well, that was that ukulele thing, you know. I got to start out small, work my way up.
Nick Mystrom to open the second half. And this is Nigel Williams at his own 15. Tries to find some blocking, goes all the way across the field, finds a corridor, gets across the 35, and is finally hog-tied at about the 37-yard line by Darrell Ford. The kickoff, 58 yards from Mystrom. The return, 21 by Williams. Kept there your first half stats, and you see that they favor the Mad Dogs in virtually every department.
Well, I think the Mad Dogs made a big surge that second quarter. They kept the ball in their hands. They kept it in time of possession, and also they did not turn it over as Ottawa did.
Ottawa using Michael Richardson and Ray Alexander as their main offensive targets in this game. They're going to have to spread the ball around. Here's Andre Ware with the play action situation. He's hit from behind as he tries to pass. Oh, and it's nearly picked off. Andre Ware didn't see the blindside hit coming. It looked like Rodney Harding bearing down from the rear, and he's slow to get up.
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to take this quarterback and move the pocket a little bit to buy a little extra time. Look how all of a sudden number 55, Mike Shad, G blocks, he pulls out, and then all of a sudden, there it comes.
Alex Gordon.
Alex Gordon from behind just uses that great speed that he has, races the guy up the field, is able to get in behind the blocker, and as Andre Ware holds the ball just a little longer, that's the price he's going to have to pay.
Well, we foreshadowed the Memphis reaction to Ottawa going for a deep first down play and that 11-man defensive tribute to Junior Robinson on the first play of the game for Ottawa on offense, and I think we might see more of that Mad Dog defense taking every opportunity to put a lick on the star quarterback, Andre Ware.
Well, even at some point, I think that offensively and defensively, whether you're Memphis or whether you're Ottawa, you have to go out there and play 60 solid minutes to be able to win a football game. You can't have any lulls, and I think right now, Memphis can't concentrate on just payback. They have to concentrate on getting into the playoffs and winning this football game as a start.
Here's the out pattern to Ray Alexander. Pass thrown on the break. Perfect timing. Alexander hauls it in, and Tim Cofield's in a shoving match. Gain of 13 on the play for Alexander and a first down for Ottawa.
Well, you get the 10-year Canadian veteran in Rodney Harding and also Mike Shad with all of his NFL experience. Good blocking. Now see how they get locked up. Rodney takes exception, tries to throw a Maroy.
It looks like holding to me.
Now at their own 50-yard line.
Good old-fashioned wrestling at the line of scrimmage.
Just boys having fun on a Sunday afternoon.
There's Gordon hauled down there. That looked like a good hold, too.
Now, Jovanovich, when they race him outside, he doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with those guys.
Give to Michael Richardson straight up the middle, and he burrows his way for perhaps 5 yards. Tim Cofield and Greg Battle meeting him head-on. Good power by Richardson there.
Well, he's a big back. I mean, Mike is 5'11", about 205 pounds. Great strong legs, tremendous balance. Carries the mail as well as anybody in this league. And they need to use him. Need to slow down this Memphis defense a little bit.
Second down Ottawa at center field. Quick hitch pass to Alexander. He's met immediately. Don Smith, the cornerback, making first contact on Ray Alexander, and it's...
Great play by the corner, Don Smith, in reaction on that quick hitch.
Yeah, not enough, though, Kemp. He's going to be 3 yards short of the first down. Here's another look at Mike Shad.
Hey, we're going for round 2 here. Mike Shad and Rodney Harding going at it. Locking up. Mike Shad just giving a little bit of extra as he comes out of the clinch.
Mike Shad likes to play right up on the line of scrimmage, doesn't give any room for movement on the defensive line. Used to that no yard of line of scrimmage in the NFL.
That's what Jim Gilstrap said yesterday. He said he's such a good quick setter, and he sits firm and hard and takes on the defender right at the line.
Beautiful punt by Lamley that pushes Adrian Smith into his end zone, and he'll concede the single. Spiraling 58-yard punt. by Wayne Lamley, who was a great soccer player before he turned to kicking footballs.
And ironically, that is his first single of the 1995 season.
You see the number 2 on the back of Damon Allen's helmet. Number 2, tribute to Junior Robinson, who was killed last Saturday in a car. Also is the team's leading tackler. What does that say about your defense?
Well, that tells you that they must get through probably about 8 or 9 guys before the safety finds it. You don't want your safety to be the leading tackler at any point in time. It means maybe those front 7 guys just aren't getting the job done. Damon Allen was so excited about having Gary Anderson in part of his backfield.
We understand we had some transmission difficulty back in Canada. We're back on the air, and this is Damon Allen at quarterback for Memphis. Perkins with the catch on the swing pass out of the backfield. Gains all kinds of room on the artificial turf near the sidelines before Charlie Clemens finally tackles him. Bruce Perkins, the big former Tie-Cat, all kinds of Tie-Cats who are now Mad Dogs. 13 yards the gain for Perkins on the replay, Kevin.
This is how Damon can see. He can look downfield for his primary receiver, can't find that, dumps it off to Perkins. But when you make an opportunity, as Brent Young had, come up, break down, grab some cloth, and put the receiver on his back. Good blocking up front. That's number 51. That's Big Bill Lewis. The right guard buying some time for Damon Allen.
1st and 10, the give to Al Chipman, the diminutive running back for the Mad Dogs, and he's brought down for a short gain. The Mad Dogs now moving into Ottawa territory. Charlie Clemens again and Ray Bernard, the 2 linebackers, to make the stop on Chipman. Charlie Clemens with a big effort for Ottawa on defense.
Now 2nd down.
Good blocking up front. We just talked about Bill Lewis. Takes care of Kropke, gets him turned, and then keeps his body in between he and the running back, Al Shipman. And Shipman doesn't need a lot of space at 5'8", 175 to make something happen.
Bill Lewis with 71 games in the National Football League before coming to the CFL. An experienced lineman, and Damon Allen now with nobody open and nowhere to go, and is hauled down. It'll be a punting situation for the Mad Dogs. Here's the pass distribution of Damon Allen so far in this football game. You see he's favored Perkins and Jordan, the wide receiver, replacing Joe Horn. But Perkins taking a lot of passes out of the backfield. That's 6 passes out of the backfield for Perkins and Anderson.
But anytime you lose a guy like Joe Horn out of your lineup, he's 4th in the CFL in receiver. Came in, had 60 catches for 1,206 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's just, he had 4 of Damon Allen's 11 touchdowns that he's thrown.
51-yard attempt for Nick Mystrom. Puts his foot into the ball. Has he got it? It's good. 4th field goal of the game for Nick Mystrom, and the Mad Dogs have a 20-7 lead. Young Nick Mystrom has put the Mad Dogs ahead 20-7 with his longest field goal in CFL play, 51 yards. And so Ottawa will scrimmage at their own 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Andre Ware with play action. Throws over the right to Strother. Strother is brought down by Bobby Dawson. So Strother is involved in the game plan. Ottawa needs to mix it up a little bit, Kep. They were relying too heavily, we think, on Michael Richardson and Ray Alexander.
Well, they take Michael Richardson this time. Now it's a good play action fake inside. Freezes the defenders ever so slightly, then allows the screen pass to take place. Michael Shadd, living up to everything that Coach Gilstrap said that he could be. It's just an excellent offensive lineman.
This time it's Mike Richardson carrying the ball. It'll be close to a 1st down as he gets to the 1st down marker, and yes, they're moving the chains. Jim Gilstrap, his assistant offensive coordinator Jerry Keeling, 3 Grey Cups as a football player, as a defensive back and quarterback with the Calgary Stampeders, winning it in 1971, 14-11 over the Toronto Argonauts on that fabled Leon McQuay fumble.
Tremendous CFL experience on that Ottawa staff. Dickie Adams, Bobby Swift, the old center from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Here's Ware with a strike. Nigel Williams Williams holding on to that one. Nigel Williams has dropped a lot of sure, easy catches this year and then made the circus catches.
Well, the knock on him has been, you know, just the inconsistency. He has dropped a lot of easy passes, but sooner or later, then he comes up and he makes that Houdini catch that just absolutely mesmerizes you.
A salient point, my friend, the Houdini catch.
There you go again.
Here we go again with those words. Nigel Williams at 6'4", 206, and gifted with speed. They like him there. He's easy to see. From the Hamilton Hurricanes junior football.
Face mask. Ottawa 59. Second down.
James Monroe, the guilty party in Ottawa's offense, called for the face mask by referee Dave Ewell.
This is the center that's taking Irv Damon's place. He's going to get in there, just gets the hand up around Rodney Harding's face mask, and you can see how he turns the shoulders and turns his head. Rodney knows immediately he's going to get that flag.
Hard man to keep down, Rodney Harding.
10 years with Toronto, 1994, 16 sacks, tied for second in the CFL in sacks of that year.
Ottawa 1st and 20. The inside counter to Michael Richardson. He negotiates his way across the 40-yard line. He'll be short of a first down. That play has worked well for the Rough Riders. They try to move that big defensive line, get them shifting, then come back against the grain.
You try to get it, and then when you're going to shift and go across the grain, the guy that's supposed to fill all the gaps is the middle linebacker, Greg Battle. He gets a good block on him by Mike Shadd, just enough to take him out of the play ever so slightly. Michael Richardson is able to pick up 4 or 5 extra yards.
Michael Richardson working hard in the heat here of Tennessee. A little disappointed that once again the Riders will have to turn the ball over in a punting situation. Wayne Lamley at his own 35-yard line. The Smith boys. This was Adrian taking the ball at the 30, runs into some heavy traffic and is pushed right back to the point he started from by Chris Sangares. It's a 13-point ball game. The hometown Mad Dogs in front. Pepper Rogers has stirred a lot of controversy in Memphis, saying he needs 4 downs if he's going to sell tickets. So we asked him, what's his point?
Well, you know, I'm not going to say I was misquoted because I never talked to anybody in Canada and said what they said I said. And I never talked to anybody and said what I said, and they said I said up there, which might sound like a little double talk, but what the heck.
That's pepper on pepper. Did you figure out what he was saying?
Copies of that transcript will be provided by CBC. To anybody, please call us in Toronto, and we'll explain exactly what he said. He said this, you said that, I said that, but I didn't really say that, but I meant to say this. Now, hey, how about that?
Pepper did say that 3-down football is mutant football down here, and the people don't want to see it. He wants his 4 downs. He wants his 100-yard field. Hey, listen, he's got a point here about the field. It may have been better to play this field at 100 yards and make 20-yard Canadian official end zones. And there has been a precedent. Back in the early 50s, the Montreal Alouettes played at Delormier Stadium. That was 100 yards with 20-yard end zones. It's a lot better, I think, than these 6-yard corners.
Well, I would agree with you. It is better than that, but I mean, I don't think you want to start setting that kind of precedent in the league. I think if you want to be part of the CFL, there's some qualifications that you have to have, and one of them is feel and size and everything else. So you need to be part of it and accept it.
Walter Wilson.
Change it, yeah.
Walter Wilson, the receiver on that play, as Emmanuel Martin brings him down short of the first down marker. I think you're right there, Kep. This league has more than a century of tradition. This is a product, a brand name.
Well, I mean, Pepper is coaching every league possible. I mean, he's coaching the USFL, the WLAF, the college system, and everything else. He's had his 4 downs here. The Memphis Showboats, they didn't last here. The World League didn't last. The WLAF didn't last. They're still waiting to get an NFL franchise. I don't think that's going to happen. There's even talk now that Houston is going to be moving to Nashville. So go figure. You think Memphis is going to get a team? I don't think so.
Here's Allen looking for first down yardage to Al Shipman, and he's just across the 45-yard line before Charlie Clemens made the tackle. Mad Dog fans signaling first down.
Damon Allen has good vision down the field, good blocking up front, throws the ball out to the outside, and anytime that you get the mismatch of a running back on an outside linebacker like that, you're going to try to take advantage of it and take it to the house. Shipman does a good job of looking that ball in.
Mad Dogs break the huddle. Sprightly is 1st and 10. Moving along the defensive line. Good fake. They had everybody fake there as Damon Allen scoots around the right side, crosses center field before Ray Bernard finally hog-ties him.
Mark, you don't know what a scary feeling it is to be a middle linebacker, to come out there and all of a sudden Damon Allen comes out on a naked bootleg and it's just you and him and nothing but a lot of grass in front. But take a look. Damon's still looking downfield. Now he gets Ray Bernard to stop right in his tracks, gets around him a bit, but Bernard shows he's got that great panic speed and is able to reach out and just grab just a little bit of cloth and stop Damon Allen before he picked up even more yardage. Four rushes for 46 yards today, but he did pick up the first down.
Great fake to Shipman. I bought that one. Here's Allen now. This time he gives to the small running back. He zigzags his way for maybe 3, but there's heavy traffic up the middle. Once again, Charlie Clemens, the point man on this Ottawa defense, making the tackle.
Charlie Clemens is a big man. Now, he's 6'2", about 245, out of Georgia. This is his 2nd year. Had a lot of training over in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Looks like he's hurt.
He's just checking his knee out. I want to make sure there's going to be a little skin, a little blood there. Charlie Clemens is a player. He's a guy that'll stand out there 60 minutes and get the job done for you.
2nd and long. Mad Dogs. Here's Damon Allen, and he's got a man wide open. It's Sean Collins. Forced out of bounds at the 13, and that's a deep strike for Memphis.
Damon Allen's had a number of receivers wide open toward the end zone. He's just overthrown them, but this time he makes no mistake. A miscue in the Ottawa secondary between Emmanuel Martin and Antonio Spanner, the halfback in the corner on that side. Nobody's taking the outside flats and nobody's taking the deep third. And Damon Allen makes
great concentration there with John Kropke right in his face, and then he takes a shot.
Exactly. He feels that. He's been around that. He can sense that guy, and he knows he's going to take the shot, but he knows he wants to make the reception and make the completion much more than having to worry about the hit.
1st and 10, Mad Dogs at the 14. The give straight up the middle, and it's plugged right up. Anderson making the tackle, or rather Anderson the carry.
Anderson, the ball carrier for that.
And nowhere for him to go. This is a situation now where your playbook is restricted because the end zone is so short. The quarterbacks say you can't throw corners, you can't throw fades. You're basically reduced to some running plays, some play action, maybe a pick.
Well, and you know, Pepper is complaining about not being able to score on here. Well, it's part of his field. Nope. It is a negative to the offense, and it is a very big positive to the defense.
Here's Allen with the quarterback draw. He's got all kinds of real estate, and he's in for the touchdown, but there are flags on the play.
Bring it back. I think we're going to have a holding call.
Preliminary indication holding against Memphis.
A gifted example of open field running by Damon Allen, and it's all for naught.
I think they're going to call number 51, Bill Lewis, the right guard on that hole. Quarterback draw, Damon Allen, key play for him in his career in the CFL.
Holding, Memphis 51.
You called it, Kep. And so Bill Lewis, the veteran NFLer, called for the big meat hooks on the jersey, and we've seen that today over and over again.
Just look to the right of your screen. That's number 51. Grabs a hold of Lloyd Lewis and just rides him down.
Well, you can see that play probably wouldn't have gone for a touchdown had it not been for the hold on Lloyd Lewis. 2nd down now. Long yardage. Allen scrambling. He's got time. Fires it down the middle for number 24. Anthony Jordan. He goes down, and the referees say he trapped it. Fans don't like the call one bit. And once again, another wasted opportunity deep in Ottawa's territory. It's 3rd down, and it'll be a field goal situation for Nick Mystrom as Damon Allen laughs it off, but I don't think it's too funny.
Well, it's not funny to him, and he knows there's certain things. He made a mistake on a couple of reads that he took. Had the right play called on the quarterback draw. Gets called on one of the very few penalties that has been called through the course of this day, and particularly for the Memphis Mad Dogs, who are the least penalized team in the league.
Nick Mystrom will attempt this field goal from 30 yards out. Ball is out, down, kicked. And it's easily good right down the middle for the young man, Nick Mystrom. He's been the one-man scoring man for the Mad Dogs, who now lead at 23-7. What they lack in numbers, they certainly make up in spirit here, Kep. That's the rabies zone, kind of a family area, I guess.
Well, it's a prerequisite. You'd have had to have rabies sometime in your life, but have taken the shots, and you're free of any disease, the rabies right now. So I think you're okay. These guys in there, they're having a lot of fun, loud, boisterous.
Frothing at the mouth.
Well, that's part of it. It's some of the side effects of some of the shots you take.
All right, here comes Ottawa. 1st and 10. Andre Ware with time to throw, and he airs it out deep for Nigel Williams, and he can't find it. Ottawa struggling in offense after a good first quarter. Don Smith and Adrian Smith had that one covered like a blanket.
Well, through the second quarter and most of this third quarter, we haven't seen anything that resembled the way that they came out, their game plan that started the game. They ran the ball extremely well. They threw the ball short, high percentage passes, mostly to the out, mostly to Ray Alexander. We're not seeing that right now. Trying to take it deep. Now it's that 2nd and long, no first down production. Makes it tough for the young quarterback.
Here's Ware now on 2nd down. Good catch by Odessa Turner, the straight arm, and the veteran finally makes his way up to the 45-yard line before Bobby Dawson crashes him into his own bench. Odessa Turner played for San Francisco, played for the Giants. He's a bona fide wide receiver, and Bobby Dawson, you see his veins coursing with energy there on that hit.
It's a good throw that time. Don Smith came up, was going to make the tackle, and would have made it plenty short of the first down, but he just did not break down, did not make good tackling techniques, and that allowed Turner to be able to slide away from there and come very close to picking up the first down.
They have a measurement on the play. It looks like it's short by just a few inches, and so Ottawa's going to go for it, and they bring in the Elephant squad on the Memphis side of the field, and that means Big Jim Ward, the strongest man on the team with that 580-pound bench press, is in the game. They're trying to plug up the line of scrimmage. Here's Ware, and boy, he doesn't get much thrust there, but we'll wait for the measurement.
On his own, number 10, Andre Ware.
Pretty good surge, quick snap count, trying to catch the defense off guard. Good surge off Monroe and Black off the right side. David Black coming over with the trade with Sammy Garza from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Lots of experience.
It'll be first down, Ottawa. Here's the replay of that sneak.
Take a look at the get off those guys get.
Straight into Big Jim Ward.
Winning at the point of attack. The Ottawa Rough Riders offensive line.
There's that counter draw to Richardson. And he's stacked up by a host of Mad Dogs. And once again, there's some pushing and talking. Gordon having words with Shad. Tempers flaring with 1 minute to go in the third quarter, and Memphis in front 23-7. Mike Shad's had a battle here this afternoon.
Mike Shad hasn't had an opportunity to play against these guys. This is the first time he's seen the Memphis Mad Dogs, but I think they're getting to like him very much. He makes friends quickly out there.
Controlled violence along that line of scrimmage. Here's Ware, straight back to pass. Pocket collapses. He's got some running room. Around the 50 to the 55, and he heads out of bounds with a first down. That's the athlete we see in Andre Ware, and that's the kind of running the Riders would like to see more of.
Well, I think that's the kind of thing that Coach Gilstrap wants to see this young quarterback do. He's doing the same kind of things we see Damon Allen do. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense when you start to scramble. All the receivers, good coverage by Memphis in the secondary. Now he shows that athleticism. Good quick feet, breaks to the outside, has a little bit of speed, picks up a couple of blocks. Big thing that he does, he picks up the first down, runs to the stick, keeps the chains moving.
There's an injury on the play. Big David Black, the right guard, injured. There you see the shot right to the stomach by Rodney Harding.
That's a good left shot. Just a good left uppercut to the gut of David Black by Rodney Harding.
Black having words and gesturing at Rodney Harding after that gentleman Jerry Cooney-like blow. Harding, the 10-year Argo, the consummate tackle, part of this veteran Mad Dog defense. Here it is again.
All right, now take a look as they get hooked up here. That's number 77. There's the good left hook. Who could have been a contender?
That's just not fair.
No, I don't. Rodney Hardy has a lot of class. That's one that just kind of got away with it.
Great scrambling ability by Ware as he gets the pass off to Jay Christensen, and he's gang tackled. That's the first catch of the day for Jay Christensen. Here's David Black still fuming on the Ottawa bench.
Well, and it's probably a good move for him as far as Coach Gilstrap to get him off the sideline for a while after a cheap shot like that. Let his temper kind of relax a bit.
Look at the athletic move here by Ware.
That's the thing that he's seeing every time when he starts to pan out is Cofield getting right in his face very quickly, and that creates some really nervous feet for the young quarterback.
2nd and 8. Ottawa. Complete to Ray Alexander. And a great comeback to the ball by the tall wide receiver. Damian Lyons finally takes him down. Ottawa moving the yardsticks now with another first down. And at the end of 3 quarters of football, it's Memphis 23, Ottawa 7. Back in Memphis for round 2 of this haymaking battle in the trenches, and I'll tell you, this O-line is sticking up for David Black.
Right in front of here, you fight me, you're going to fight my gang. And Chris Burns is going to take it. Now just take a look at the right hand. Watch the right arm and hand. Here it comes. Oh, right there. Okay, go down. Good body shot there. Then he's going to go over and hit him again, do a little push. Rodney says, wait a minute. No, I'm not finished with you yet. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit.
What, was that your best shot? I didn't feel it.
I'm not going down. Not taking a standing 8 count.
Back to live action. This is Andre Ware over the middle, and it's picked off by Greg Battle. Battle returns it over the 30, and he's hauled down by Mike Shad. But Greg Battle sliding into the field of vision of quarterback Andre Ware as he tried to find Jay Christensen across the middle, and it's picked off, and another turnover rises up on the Riders.
A lot of young quarterbacks have that tunnel vision. Just do not, on a zone defense, read the middle linebacker. Greg Battle, this is his 5th reception. See, he makes a good play, goes to the fake to begin with to the right-hand side, but then makes good adjustment to come back to Ellingson, running the inside seam route. Comes up, as I said, that is Greg Battle's 5th interception of the 95 season.
A great catch. Here's Damon Allen with the give to Al Shipman around the right side. He skitters and scoots. Ooh, is he hit hard. Ray Bernard, Eric Jeter put the pop on little Al Shipman.
Ray Bernard, as I said, this is his 2nd game back last week after 4 weeks out, separated shoulder, and he said he really tested it last week. He's excited about the shoulder holding up. Excellent speed, and he's able to go sideline to sideline, patrolling the middle for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Huge turnover for Ottawa with 14 minutes left in this football game. They trail it 23-7. They were threatening. Here's Damon Allen. Complete to number 31. Mike Tingle in the ball game now. Mike Tingle in the ball game now for Memphis, and here are your 3rd quarter stats.
Look, it was favorably to Ottawa. They made some progression as far as getting some yardage back, and also in time of possession was able to keep the ball. Big thing is they haven't changed that turnover number. It's still just 2, and as long as that stays low, Ottawa has an opportunity to get back into this ball game.
What might have been for Ottawa on that drive, once again, it stalls. This is Shipman taking the handoff from Damon Allen. You can hear lots of talk down there on the line of scrimmage, Kep. This is a fired-up Ottawa defense as Lloyd Lewis gets up off the pile, making the hit. Lloyd Lewis, who was denied a place in the Bomber organization when he failed the medical with a pinched nerve in his neck. And once again, you can't tell this guy he's too old or he's too beat up to play football, because he fought his way back into the game with the Rough Riders, and he's just as strong, just as stalwart at the tackle position.
In his 11th season, just keeps getting the job done, play after play, and it's hard to argue with guys like that.
Allen scrambling, all kinds of field room on the wide side. He's going to run with it. Oh, a great move on Clemens. Here comes Allen to the middle of the field. He's across the 40. One man to beat. Stops again. But there's a flag on the play. Tremendous open field
There is not a quarterback in this league that makes it look so easy as Damon Allen. Effortlessly as he's running, always having vision down.
Illegal block. Memphis 61. 10 yards, first down.
That'll be 10 yards from the spot of that block. But Damon Allen is that kind of athlete, that great gifted athlete, like a Wayne Gretzky who has tremendous vision. You just do not get a clean shot on him at any point in time during a ball game.
Seems to deny the laws of gravity the way he cuts. Here's another look at the penalty. Right down the middle, Kep.
Just right in the middle as they start to pick and put a hand on it. All of a sudden, that's Charlie Clements that gets his cloth grabbed.
Here's the give now. We're 13 stories high up here atop the Liberty Bowl, and it's hard to see who had that. It was Gary Anderson, but stopped for little gain.
I can tell you one thing. You keep talking about Tim Cofield, and I don't think 13 stories is high enough for us to go high. Because that guy's fast. Now just take a look. He's looking downfield.
There's the handoff to Gary Anderson following his pulling guard, but Ottawa once again got up to stop that. Second down and 4 yards to go. The Mad Dogs. At the Ottawa 45, Damon Allen fires to his slot back. That's Sean Collins with a nice twist move across the 30. Takes the ball inside the 30-yard line, and D-Wayne Knight pounds the ball in frustration. That's dog ball. They call it dog ball down here.
They like it. Damon Allen's going to come. He's going to throw this ball ever slightly off balance, and before Collins makes his break, and as soon as he does, he comes back for the ball, creates some separation between he and Brett Young, and then does some fancy footwork to pick up about 6 or 8 additional yardage.
Remy Trudell fooled on this twist.
And this is Remy Trudell and also Brent Young. This is number 1 and 2 in leading tacklers on the Ottawa team.
Here's Allen with the quick hitch, and it's dropped by Walter Wilson right in the breadbasket. His eye off the ball. We saw that last week. The BC Lions against Edmonton on at least 4 occasions in overtime.
A couple of places you just want to run before you catch the ball, but take a look. Going to catch the ball right in the chest. His eyes are looking down the field, trying to pick up either some of the defenders coming into the area. The last time I heard, that's why receivers have the hands. Catch the ball in the hands.
Good place to get the ball. And so it'll be second down and 10 for Memphis on the 28-yard line. And Derek McCready is down on the field, the defensive end out of Ohio State for Ottawa. And so an Ottawa dilemma on the line.
Now get a 28-point winter inspection, oil, lube, and filter, tire rotation, and a 4-liter jug of washer fluid, all for just $24.99, only at Canadian Tire.
Doesn't look too serious for Derek McCready as he makes his way on his own off the field, shaken up on that last play. But Memphis is threatening here, and this football game can be sealed with a major score here. The Mad Dogs leading 23-7. Second and 10. Ball on the Ottawa 28. This is where they like to go to the end zone because it's so short. As Allen reverse pivots, rolls out, slingshots the ball to Dingle. He makes the catch but can't get much further. And he's hauled down for a game of mainly only 5. And this looks like another field goal situation. Dallas Raisavi making the tackle. It'll be third down and 6. Memphis, and Nick Mystrom is back on the field for his 6th field goal attempt. He's 5 for 5.
Here's where Damon Allen is so dangerous at a point where he can break out of containment, finds the open receiver. Dingle is not the primary receiver. Damon decided he wanted to go downtown a little bit. Everything was covered. Found Dingle in the flat, short of the first down, and creates a field goal situation.
Nystrom 5 for 5 with his longest of the season at 51. This one from just over the 30, and he's perfect. 6 for 6 for Nick Mystrom, and make it Memphis 26, Ottawa 7 with 9.5 minutes left in this ball game.
Well, there's lots to do on Beale Street in Memphis. Great ribs there. B.B. King's Blues Club is also there. I didn't get here in time to spend any time on Beale Street, but I know that Mark and Dan certainly did. As you can see here, it's Memphis in control, and in Birmingham, 7-3 Barracudas over San Antonio. Barracudas scored on a block punt and recovery by Sam Peoples. Shante Peoples, I believe that is, for Barracuda. Pardon me, it is Sam Peoples. I've got that straight now. No relation to Shante Peoples, so it's 7-3 Birmingham early over San Antonio. Did you get all that, Mark?
I think we got it straight. I think Aliens got it straight.
Hey, maybe Scott can go have a conversation with Pepper. I think they can relate to one another pretty good. We'll figure out all of this before the game's over with.
And, of course, the Mad Dogs keeping one eye on that scoreboard because, of course, they trail Birmingham by 2 points in the race for the third and final playoff spot in the South Division. They need a win here today and a Birmingham loss to move into a tie. And, of course, because the Mad Dogs beat Birmingham in their one regular season encounter, third place would go to the Mad Dogs. Here's the kick from Maestro. Squibs it back to the 13-yard line where Nigel Williams picks it up and lumbers across the 30. Don Smith hits him and forces a fumble. But it looks like Ottawa has recovered. Number 24, Remy Trudel, quick to jump on the ball. Let's get a closer look, Kep.
We're going to take a look at this. Who's going to come in? That is number 24 for the Ottawa Rough Riders, Remy Trudel. Now take a look at the hustle comes down on this special teams.
He's the defense retriever.
Number 30 is Jamie Redmond working hard.
Against Sean Ralph from the University of Ottawa, Gigi's. Great battle there. You know, special teams is probably the hazardous place to be on a football field. Here's the fumble. Don Smith strips.
Don Smith comes from behind. He does. Good job of stripping that ball loose. Remy Trudel being the guy on the spot.
Here's that pitch counter, but this time Memphis was waiting for Michael Richardson. Nowhere to go on that play, Kep. They've used that one countless times this afternoon, and this time maybe once too often to the well.
Well, some of the things they've had is trying to run with the play fake, play action pass stuff inside, faking it to Michael Richardson, and then throwing the ball short.
Rodney Harding is down on the field, and, you know, he's been involved in that battle with Shad and Burns, and now he's in pain. David Black is back in the game. Maybe we can get another look at the line play on that last play to see what, in fact, caused Rodney Harding to be down on the field. Harding getting attention from the Mad Dogs medical staff. The Oklahoma State veteran, 33 years young, in his 11th year after a decade with the Argos. Here's another look at 77 Harding.
There's Rodney as he's coming in to take a shot. And right at the last minute, that's his own man comes in and gets a helmet on him. We just can't pick up the number. And it hits Rodney right in the hip pointer area and in the back of the kidney area. Number 98, that's Jim Ward, who's just been added to the roster for this game.
Big Jim Ward.
Rodney's going to take a look over to the gym and say, hey, buddy, haven't you seen what I've been going through all day long? It's tough enough out there with those guys on with the other colored jersey.
Here's another look at that line play.
Here it is. Number 98 is right there in the middle of your screen. Now he's going to come off the block by Shad. Put his helmet right into the hip area of Rodney Harding.
And so Harding, sweating profusely and in a great deal of pain, makes his way slowly off to the Memphis sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 10 Ottawa. The Mad Dogs missing one of the cogs of their defense in Harding for this play anyway.
Just a terrific class act in the league. For 10 years with the Toronto Argonauts, he is the Toronto's all-time leading sack leader out of Oklahoma State. He has just been a real treat to watch over the years.
Ottawa needs to make something happen here. Nice pass over to Odessa, turn it across the 35-yard line. That's first down territory on a strike from the quarterback, Andre Ware. Adrian Smith makes the tackle. 8.5 minutes to go in the game. Ottawa trailing by 19 points. They've got to make something happen as they assess Harding's hip area on the Memphis bench.
Well, whatever happened on that last play, that looked as with much confidence as this Ottawa team has had. Take a look at this front right here.
Ottawa hasn't won outside Ontario since October of 1990, a dubious distinction. There's the hitch pass to Alexander. Adrian Smith once again the first man in for Memphis.
Now at some point in time, the young quarterback, he's thrown enough of these hitch screens and he's thrown the curl routes, particularly to the wide receivers, and Ray Alexander has been the recipient of a lot of those. I think he needs to start open that vision up a little bit more, know that he has a receiver on the other side of the field and also 2 receivers in the slot.
Alexander with 9 catches for 72 yards so far in this football game. Another strike at midfield. That's Odessa Turner now with another Ottawa first down, and the Riders are finally coming to life on offense.
This is where the young quarterback shows great mechanics as far as coming out from underneath the center, and then he's going to get his shoulders turned. Watch Odessa Turner make the cut right behind the zone defense. Good solid throw that time.
Word from the Memphis bench is that Rodney Harding has a hip pointer. He's finished for the game. That's a big loss on that front 4 for Memphis. 1st and 10. Ottawa at midfield. Ware with the pump fake. He needs to bail out of the pocket because it collapses. All kinds of pursuit. Ware dumps it across to Nigel Williams. He's got the ball for a first down across the 30. A deep, and he fumbles it out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. But it's still Ottawa ball. What a big gain for the Rough Riders. Nigel Williams was tracked down by Odegaard from behind after a gain of 36 yards.
Coach Gilstrap said this quarterback is smart, he's mature, and he's starting to get familiar with his receivers, and the receivers are working in conjunction with the same wavelength that Andre Ware's on, and the ball does go out off of a Memphis guy, but they still give it possession to Ottawa.
Nigel Williams lucky there, carrying the ball dangerously. Here's the give right up the middle to Michael Richardson, and he fights his way for a gain of 4, maybe 5 yards straight up the gut. Ottawa threatening now. They need a touchdown to get back into this football game as time ticks away. 6.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter.
Good production, first down again. Now it's 2nd and about 4. It allows Andre to do a lot of things. Fake the ball inside, roll out on a naked bootleg, give himself the option.
Riders practiced in Ottawa all week with a short end zone. Let's see if it'll make good here. Here's Richardson, who stood up at the line of scrimmage. Gets maybe a couple of more yards, so this is going to be very close, Kevin.
Great second effort by Mike Richardson on that point. Straight dive play, nothing fancy, just saying that the guys on that right side, James Monroe, David Black, and Chris Burns, are able to handle a few guys battling Armstrong on the tackle.
Ottawa now inside the 20-yard line. They call this the red zone in football, but they don't have much real estate in the end zone, and so their play selection is severely limited here. Defensive backs don't really have to worry about the corners.
No, it's a definite advantage to anybody playing defense, particularly the secondary guys, on the amount of space that they have to cover in these end zones, in this end zone here at Liberty Stadium.
This is Ottawa's first drive inside the Memphis 20-yard line in this football game, and it comes with 6 minutes to go in the football game. Their deepest penetration so far.
3rd down and about half the length of the football.
You know, with a guy like Ray Alexander and his height, maybe they can try a basketball move here. You know, the post shot, go high, go to somebody with lots of reach, because we know this end zone slopes off. 3rd down gamble for Ottawa. Gonna pile up on Andre Ware.
Good surge, and definitely got picked up the first down.
Jim Gilstrap pacing the Ottawa sidelines, keeping his players in the game. You know, in this league, with 5.5 minutes, there's still lots that can happen. Ottawa trailing by 19 points. First and 10.
Here's where this quarterback's going to have to spread out, move the pocket, put a little pressure on the defense.
There's the play action pursuit from Alex Gordon, and he tracks down Andre Ware from behind. A great defensive play for the Mad Dogs. Alex Gordon looking skyward, celebrating that sack. That's his 7th sack of the season.
Take a look right here. This is where we're going to find Alex Gordon. It's just a speed rush and then a chase. As the quarterback Andre Ware comes out, nothing's going to happen. All of a sudden, the deep set inside by Chris Burns shortens the corner that Alex Gordon has to take, and he makes the good sack with that great speed.
Very close call as Nigel Williams couldn't hang on to that bullet from Andre Ware across the middle. Make it third down. Ottawa. A good 7 yards to go. Take a look from behind on the Ottawa bench. They're going for it, Kep, because they need a touchdown here. They want to get back into this football game. Here we go. Third down gamble, Rough Riders. Ball on the 17-yard line of Memphis as Ware drops back under pressure, and he hits David Black with the shot. And Andre Ware stops off the football field as the Riders fail on the third down gamble. They trail by 19. Back in Memphis, where turnovers have once again foiled the Ottawa offense, Andre Ware fit to be tied on the bench. You see him talking to teammates just moments ago. This was his demeanor on the bench.
Stay after the game and join the Mad Dogs on the field. Rogers, a happy birthday today.
You don't have blitz.
First quarter score.
Receiver wide open, a touchdown staring him in the face, but a turnover on downs ends that Ottawa drive as Damon Allen takes over on offense for Memphis. 4 Ottawa turnovers. We'll call it the four-pack. Kept 1 on a block kick, 1 on an interception, 1 on a fumble, and now on downs.
Well, they've taken one from every column out of the giveaway list today, and that is one of the reasons that they are really sputtering. The young quarterback showing lots of frustration. He has a tremendous amount of ability, just a matter of keeping his composure through the course of these really rocky times.
Tough day for Andre Ware, yet to throw a touchdown pass in this football game, and the defense on Memphis relishing that last stand, and Damon Allen in control of this football game. It's Damon Allen now giving way to Ricky Foggy in this football game. He tries to hit Dingle, the ball right in his hands, and Dingle can't bring it down. Ricky Foggy, who was player of the game of the Liberty Bowl of 1987 right here for the University of Minnesota. He's always got a smile on his face, Kep, even when somebody drops a pass.
I don't like that. I tell you what, I don't like football players that smile all the time. When all of a sudden you throw an incomplete pass, you got to have some concentration, even though that you are winning the football game. I can tell you, but that's just Ricky Foggy's nature. He has had that every team that he has been. Throws the ball, and he does, like you said, he had a bullet. He threw a bullet right through the hands of Dingle.
Dardier stands on his own 3-yard line. Field position paramount here as Ottawa's set to return at midfield. Ooh, nearly blocked. A high punt that comes down to Kenneth Brer inside his 50. The straight arm, and Brer doesn't get much more, and he's hit going out of bounds, and there are flags on the play. Memphis in the lead. Ottawa has good field position. Tempers flaring here in Memphis after Mike Dingle is called for a late hit on the sidelines. A frustrated Dingle after dropping the pass inside Foggy. Look at this. Kenneth doesn't get much more, and he's hit going out of bounds, and there are flags on the play.
Kenneth Brer taking exception to that, and he and Dingle start to exchange words.
Well, this happens when you're late in the football game and things haven't been going well. Ottawa clearly frustrated here, but that was a cheap shot, Kep. No reason for that.
Exactly right. I think when you can see that the punt returner is definitely out of bounds already, and you take a shot at him about 3 steps out. It's been a bit of a cheap shot game out there. We've seen a couple of them today.
Sure have. 3:10 to go in the game, and with the penalty, they'll spot the ball at the Memphis 46-yard line. Andre Ware composing himself after that fit on the sidelines, and they were foiled deep inside Memphis territory. Here's Ware back across the middle, but Nigel Williams drops what you might call a routine pass.
Well, Nigel sets down in the zone right behind the linebacker, number 45, Johnny Anderson.
Second down and 10.
A pass that looked very catchable, and that's been a knock against him, is the fact that he has dropped a lot of easy balls.
Memphis in our perch, 13 stories high atop the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium with 2:54 kept. Never over till it's over, Yogi said. And
and Yogi never lies. He knows exactly what it's all about. But it makes a tough game, and we saw a good game last week with BC and Edmonton and what happens in overtime and what can happen in the last few minutes of a game.
Here's Andre Ware, 2nd and 10. He's got to make it happen. Scrambling out of the pocket. All kinds of room to run. He'll take it and dive for the first down yardage. It'll be very close.
Andre Ware on the run.
Andre Ware bailing out of the pocket and coming straight up the middle where there was nobody for 10 yards.
Well, here's what the quarterback can do best. I mean, he is blessed with this kind of athletic ability. Look downfield. He's not looking to throw the ball anywhere. He's just looking to pick up the first down. Try to find some blockers. No blockers. Take it down. Try to pick up the first down. His knee hits. He's probably going to be just a little short of the first down. But
Measurement, they're going to give it to him, Kep. First down, Ottawa.
But those are the kind of plays that would have been very useful in the beginning of the game to help putting just a little extra pressure on the defense. Make them have to respect Andre Ware as a rushing weapon also.
Clock is running. Ottawa first down at the 36 across the middle. And Nigel Williams is wide open. Makes a move and gets across to the 16-yard line. A big gain for the Riders with 2:23 left to go in the game. Don Smith finally tackling Nigel Williams.
Very confident play. Stands tall in the pocket, gets his weight shifted very well. Nigel Williams comes across the middle, makes no mistake about catching this. Picks up a great block by number 89.
Nigel Williams making up for that drop pass earlier. His 2nd catch of the day for 54 yards. 2 big gainers. Ottawa now threatening inside the 20 for the 2nd time in this half. Across the middle, and it's picked off. It's Greg Battle again. Almost a carbon copy of his last interception. Sliding out of the bushes. Andre Ware didn't even see him.
You know something, he didn't even hide. He wasn't even in the bushes. I don't think that the young quarterback just has not learned to see the whole field and did not even see Battle standing in the middle. Look at him. He's looking to the outside. Greg's working just from the inside to the outside receiver who's coming on that quick slant route. Makes a good effort as far as concentration and looks for his 6th interception. And Andre says, you know, he's got to be dejected about this in a sense and upset. You don't get that many chances, but all of a sudden you come away empty again.
So the Mad Dogs take over. Ricky Foggy at quarterback with the give to Gary Anderson, but there's hardly any gain, and you see the first-year quarterback with frustration in the veteran linebacker Greg Battle savoring his 2nd pick of the game.
What up, man? Memphis is here to stay. It's in the Grey Cup.
Well, he may not be kidding because this Mad Dog team has one of the best defenses in the CFL.
Avery, Anders, I love you.
The message back home from Greg Battle.
Just one of the toughest middle linebackers that's been around in the CFL, and actually was traded from that Las Vegas Posse team to the Ottawa Rough Riders for a short time, and then traded to Memphis.
Foggy guns it to Lucius Floyd, and he's got a first down. Pushed out of bounds by Emmanuel Martin. You know, sometimes, speaking about Andre Ware, a young quarterback will lock onto a receiver, and that was the case there. You saw him following Odessa Turner right across the field, and the veteran, Greg Battle, watched his eyes and went for the ball.
Well, I tell you what, you know that because you're an old quarterback, and you know exactly what that's like when you start telegraphing exactly where you're going to take it. You come out from underneath the center, you're going to look at one receiver, good, quick linebackers that are smart like Greg Battle that have been around for 9 years. He's going to follow that. You're going to move on the eyesight, and then you're going to make a break on the arm movement when the quarterback starts to release the ball. Greg Battle's done it both times and come up with interceptions twice.
Here's Al Shipman with a big gain around the right side. 2 guards pulling. He had a fortress in front of him, a convoy, as D-Wayne Knight finally fought off the blocking and brought Shipman down.
At Ottawa's 46-yard line.
Damon Allen taking a breather on the sidelines. He has orchestrated a varied offensive attack today. The Mad Dogs have had 9 different players to catch passes in this football game.
Well, and that makes it very tough. I mean, on any defense, you don't know who to key on. You don't know who you can double coverage because Damon Allen uses all of his weapons, including himself.
Once again, Foggy gives to Al Shipman. Dashes around the right side.
Tackle on the play for Ottawa, number 44, Dwayne Knight.
This is the kind of offense right now where it gets tough sledding in the trenches because they have such a big, powerful offensive line. 4 backs that any one of them can carry the mail at any point in time. and you can give it. It's been a tough game, very physical game, and they're just wearing down the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, including the quarterback, Damon Allen, Pepper Rogers has had 5 different people carry the ball. A varied attack as Foggy sets back on the curl and throws deep down the sideline to Dingle, but it's way over his head. Close coverage on the play by Bonner. His first game back since the hit pointer, and he's slow to get up off the artificial turf. Mike Dingle was open on that play. Time, 30 seconds to go in the football game. Ricky Foggy is having a good time as he mops up for Damon Allen in this football game. His Mad Dogs in front 26-7. Pete Gardier standing at his own 36-yard line to punt for perhaps the final time of this game.
This is an offense finally for Memphis that had went through some turmoil through the beginning of the year, had some problems with their philosophies, with their formations, 2 tight ends sometimes, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers. But now they have started using the same offensive philosophy, same offensive formation the last 4 or 5 games. They're starting to get more familiar, more comfortable with it, and recognize what's expected of them in this offensive package.
Gardier's 36-yard punt goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line, and that's another thing that Pepper doesn't like. Too many punts, he says, in the CFL.
well, all you got to do, then you got to sustain and have possession drives and make first downs, Pepper. Then you don't have to punt.
There you go. I'll tell him you said that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get Scott to tell him because they see that they can talk to one another.
Young fans in Memphis being turned on to the Canadian brand of football.
Yeah, baby!
The Mad Dogs will go 8-7 with the win here, and temporarily move to a third-place tie with Birmingham. Here's Andre Ware. Throws out of the backfield to Struther. Dion Struther makes the catch, but they'll be well short of the first down.
Very emotional day for the Memphis Mad Dogs today, particularly when they started off with their tribute to Junior Robinson. And I think Coach Hugh Campbell, when he was coaching us in that 1981 Grey Cup, said it very aptly that there was no doubt that we were going to win the game at 26-23. He says we were playing with 13 men out there. So I guarantee you that Junior Robinson has been in that huddle a number of times through the course of today.
Well, they're wearing his number 2 on the helmet, and you notice a couple of times players were looking skyward and holding up 2 fingers after big plays. So indeed, he is with them spiritually in this football game. Danton Bardo into the game. Last penalty was too many men on the field. It's first down again for Ottawa as Ware throws to the wide side to James Ellingson, who just steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Hate to be the bearer of bad statistics, but this will be Ottawa's 30th consecutive loss outside of Ontario, going back 5 years ago, and this will be their 11th straight loss, and that ties a team record.
Their last road win took place on September 18th, 1994 against Winnipeg when they beat them 40-32.
That is an exercise in futility, and here is Andre Ware airing it out down the right side of the field. Nigel Williams tries to make a one-handed catch to no avail with 2 seconds to go in this football game. Andre Ware still trying to work on his deep routes. Never too late to practice.
Well, this was an opportunity with Baltimore beating Saskatchewan yesterday that Ottawa was still in somewhat control of their own destiny to go out and try to take charge tonight, this afternoon, I should say, and win this football game. And they looked like they had every intention of that in that first quarter, and then all of a sudden the wheels came off.
Last play of the game, Andre Ware scrambling for his life, tries to put a move on 59. Bartow, he does, gets across 55, all kinds of room at the 50, goes across now to the left side of the field. And Jamison finally brings him down to end the football game. The Rough Riders will drop to 2-13, and this mathematically will eliminate them from playoff contention in the Canadian Football League. Andre Ware exhausted. Pepper Rogers with Joe DeLaSantis, his offensive line coach, enjoying the 8th win of the year for the Memphis Mad Dogs. Kept, they move into a tie with Birmingham, and depending on the outcome of that Birmingham and San Antonio game, they could be in third place at the end of the day. Let's go down to the sidelines, and here's Scotto.
Reminding you that if you wish to...
All right, Mark, here's Nick Mystrom, sometime quarterback, slot back, kick returner in his football career, but place kicker today, and he excelled with 6 field goals. Any kicker appreciates a chance to contribute that much to a victory.
Oh, yeah, it feels really good. You know, it's this was such a big game for us, and we needed a win. It just felt really good to contribute as much as I did to our team's success today.
Tell me about the 53-yarder. Did you think they were going to make it?
Yeah, I did. I don't go out there. I mean, every field goal I go out to attempt, I think I'm going to make it. And, you know, it didn't surprise me that it went in. I just let the mechanics take over, and everything will take care of itself.
I think a lot of people will be surprised that you began the season as a slot back, but you're a full-time kicker now. Thanks for your time, Nick.
No problem.
So Memphis goes to 8-7 on a 26-7 victory. Memphis Mad Dogs were 1 game above 500 coming into this game. They're a game above that now, I should say, at the expense of the Ottawa Rough Riders, still in the hunt for the final playoff spot in the South with a 26-7 victory over Ottawa. Prominent in the victory was Greg Battle, looked to be in his old Winnipeg form today with 2 interceptions, both to snuff out Ottawa's scoring drives. Greg, you're doing it with defense here in Memphis.
Well, I think all year we've been doing it with defense, not to put a knock on our offense, but offense takes a little bit of time to get generated. Of course, you know, Damon went down, and Ricky didn't really have time to get used to the offense. But when he did, we were winning. And now that Damon's back, I think you'll see at least 30 to 35 points per game.
All right, tell me about your interceptions, in particular the second one. We've got a replay of it here, and as I said a moment ago, this killed an Ottawa scoring drive.
Well, the defensive line was putting a lot of pressure on him. As you can see, he was locked in, and I think it was a conversion route. Actually, that was the second one, I think. You know, that's basically he was in a lot of trouble, and he was sort of flustered.
Greg, how tough was it to handle the emotion in this game? You honored your fallen teammate, Junior Robinson, on the first defensive play of it.
Well, you know, Junior was a great player. He was a great individual. His personality shined on everyone, and not to mention that he was a great player. You know, we missed Junior, and the win was for Junior.
All right, Greg, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let's go up to Mark and Dan.
Well, Scott, 2 teams coming to terms with their futures in this one. Kept Ottawa now virtually eliminated, or they are, in fact, eliminated from the playoffs at 2-13. And now 8-7, Memphis in a temporary tie for third place in the South with Birmingham.
Well, and I think Greg Battle said it aptly in the sense that their defense had played solid through the course of this whole season. Their offense is getting better and better, and I think they're getting more familiar with one another. It's going to get a tremendous race here down the stretch in the Southern Division.
What can you say about Ottawa? In that first quarter, their offense was moving the football, and then 4 turnovers. They're the highest turnover team in the CFL. They did it with an interception, a fumble, a turnover on downs, and a blocked field goal attempt.
Well, at some point, I'd say the first quarter when they went out there, they really established themselves, did some possession drives, moved the ball up and down the field, kicked a couple of field goals, got some points out of something, and somewhere along the line, the wheels fell off and they got completely away from that, and that'll happen with a young quarterback.
What can you say about the Memphis defense? Will this be their strong suit going towards the playoffs?
Absolutely. I think defense will always win you playoff games.
All right, thanks, Kep. Scott, a big win for the Mad Dogs here at home.
Okay, Mark, week 15 in the CFL continued in Memphis with the Mad Dogs using good defense and 6 field goals to defeat Ottawa, 26-7 the final. Mad Dogs in the playoff hunt. Ottawa's now officially out. San Antonio could do Memphis a huge favor by beating Birmingham. They began about an hour ago, and at last word, Birmingham led 17-6 in the second quarter. Don't forget, tomorrow it's our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader on the CFL on CBC. We start with Calgary at BC. Lions in a fight for second place in the North. The game is to be followed by Winnipeg and Toronto, with both the Bombers and Argos in must-win situations. In Memphis today, the Mad Dogs howled and kicked their way to victory. Thanks for watching, and so long from Memphis, Tennessee.
CBC Sports, home of the champions.